platforms this morning. Let me make sure everybody can hear me okay on these other platforms. Shout out to TikTok being always the first platform to chop up in here. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Shout out to IG tapping in, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform y'all on. Shout out for tapping in. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay over there. Testing, testing, testing. All right, we look good over there. All right, shout out to y'all. We trying to make this work the way we make it work. Shout out to everybody joining the live. If this your first time on my live and you don't know who I am, I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms and I really just try to provoke some thought. I believe that if you think, if you research and you take action, you absolutely without a doubt can win 100%. Shout out to you, morning. Let's dig into this, y'all. I did a live on my network this morning. Actually, we just got off. We was on it for about 2 hours. Well, actually, we've been off for a few hours now. But we was on live this morning over at Zabo 103 TV. I was live over there for a couple of hours this morning with a group of folks, and we was over there chopping it up, y'all. So shout out to the people that was on the network this morning, over there locked into the network. I appreciate y'all tapping in as usual, and we're gonna continue to go up. But to my social media family, if this your first time on my live, put a 1 in the chat. If you've been on my live more than once, put a 2 in the chat. Just want to get an idea of who's here. Maybe some more lemonade milk. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the live, welcome. I know a lot of people, man, it's a bunch of people over here. What's going on? What's going on over here? A lot of new people that showed up over there. Okay. Look, I know a lot of times people come to my live, they be new. Maybe you see me like on your For You page, or I was in your algorithm for the most part. I hope you have a good one as well. No, the way you get I ain't gonna say notifications, because it's not technically a notification on the lives on the network. On the network right now, basically there's a schedule. So you can go over there and click on live on the schedule. I mean, live on the network. And once you click on live, it's going to tell you the next time, the date. So you'll be able to see it. Email notifications will start to go out today. So you're going to get an email notification when I go live, when new shows air. You're going to get those email notifications so you can be well abreast. That's going to be the fix right now until the app is up and running. The app probably going to come in about 6 to 9 months. That's what it's going to take to build it out. So, but you're going to start getting those emails. But in the meantime, like I said, the schedule of the lives and when them lives is actually on the actual site. So when you click on the site, you click on live, it's going to tell you the next time that I'm live, 100%. But for my new people that's on the live right now, you don't know who I am. I go by Zabo103. Again, I'm the dude that get on these live platforms, and I just try to provoke thought. I do believe that if you think, if you research, and you take action, you can win without a doubt. I know that sometimes, and I get DMs with people saying this to me, hey, I'm gonna send my son over. Hey, I'm gonna send my daughter over. Hey, I'm gonna send my partner over. Hey, I'm gonna send my homegirl over so they can hear what you got to say, because I want to do something where I can get out of my rat race, and whoever I'm sending to can get out of their rat race. And I need a accountability partner, so to speak, right? I will tell you that on my network, Zabo103TV.com, you gotta have a whole bunch of accountability partners over there, and use them to your advantage, right? And that's what it's really about. So you came over here to see maybe what the hype was about. You know what I mean? You know, whether it was good, bad, indifference, for whatever the reason that you're over here, you know, you came over here to see what the hype was about. And I want to be very clear when I say these next things. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't give financial advice at all. I'm not a wealth manager, and I don't give wealth building advice at all. I'm a dude that's on the internet that's talking about his experience in life and how I figured out how to connect the dots the exact same way that wealthy people did. As a result, I've had wealth in my family now for the last 5 years. So while I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a wealth manager, I am financially free. And I have built wealth for my bloodline. And one of the things that I've learned, right, throughout this journey, you run into a lot of people that will say they're going to teach you how to build generational wealth. They're going to show you how to become financially free and all these different things. And they haven't done these things for themselves. It's almost laughable when I see it. Like when I be on social media, just like y'all, I stroll sometimes and I just be looking at stuff. And it'd be so many people telling you they're going to tell you exactly how you need to do this and you need to do that. But you need to buy their ebook. Or you got to buy their course, right? Whatever it is, in order for that to transpire. But they never really show you how they did what they're doing. Ever. You say I'm glitching? I don't know why that is. Y'all might have to log out and log back in because I don't see where I'm glitching on my side. That's kind of weird. Maybe it's what I'm saying. So let me go back and say something different. This is a safe place. Everybody welcome. I'm just showing love. That's it. Look, people get on social media and they talk about all these different things they do. I get on here and I show y'all what I do in real time because I believe, like me, that's how I learn, number one. And number two, I've gotten finessed out of my money before, y'all. And I don't want to ever put nobody in a position where they're getting finessed out of their money. When I started conducting business 9 years ago, I lost $90,000 to a coach. And it wasn't the coach's fault that I lost $90,000 to that coach. Now, could the coach have added more value to the situation? Sure. But I lost the $90,000 to a coach because I paid the coach to think for me, research for me, and take action, which is a recipe for disaster. Nobody's going to do these things for you, even when you pay them. You have to understand that you're going to have to think on your own. You're going to have to research things on your own, and you're going to have to take action. And it don't matter how much money you put behind it. If you're not doing those three things, you're going to lose. That $90,000 that I say I lost was the best decision I ever made in my life. The best decision I ever made in my life. It taught me that when you think, research, and take action, you win. And it's the absolute secret to everything that you're trying to do in life. As a result, you know, of going through that process, I was able to, you know, leave my decent paying job, retire my wife from her job. You know what I mean? Yes, I just got here. I was able to retire 25 of my other family members because I learned how to connect the dots. Most people can't say that. Most people will just complain about how they got scammed. Most people just complain about how people are always trying to get over. But I learned something way more valuable. I learned that you can't listen to what people say. What people say can be anything because people will say anything. You got to look at what they do. What they do is the key. And your kid has been telling you this stuff. Your kids been exhibiting these things. You exhibit these things as a kid. When you grew up, everything you heard your parents say, you can regurgitate it verbatim. And everything that your parents did, I guarantee you today, you do those things. Because kids repeat what they hear and they do what they see you do. Well, I took that same concept when I lost that 90 grand and put it into play. That exact same concept, if I'm being honest. I started trying to ask certain questions because I wanted answers, but the answers that I was getting wasn't beneficiary to me. They were beneficiary to the person that was giving me the answer. And it was wild when I started processing that stuff, y'all. Because one of the things I said to myself, man, I want to know everything about money. And let me say this. I worked at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. I thought I knew everything about money. I didn't. And the bank wasn't teaching nobody that stuff. Not me, not none of my peers, not the customers, nobody. No financial institution would, because they will put themselves out of business. Think of it like I've always said on all these other lives, right? Imagine you got a business and you got 50 customers, loyal customers. They strong. They'll buy anything you put out there. You're not going to go and tell those 50 customers how you did or do what you do exactly so that they don't have to shop with you no more. Because if you did that, you would go out of business. No business owner on this planet is going to do this. You wouldn't do it. So why do you think the banks would do it? You're their customer. They're never going to give you the best sound financial advice. They have you believing that they are a holding facility when they are a lending institution. They give you free checking accounts and savings accounts if you agree to put direct deposit your money into their account or keep a certain level of threshold of money in that account. They will always give you those accounts for free. Why are they so generous? Because they need your deposit so they can do what they're supposed to do, lend your money out, because they are a lending institution. So when I was at the bank, I started, trying to ask these questions and started trying to figure this stuff out. And right when I left the bank, it clicked. And I started learning all this other stuff when I left the bank, because I realized the bank wasn't going to teach me this stuff. And I wanted the information from the bank because there's nobody on this planet that know more about money than the banks. Nobody. It's almost scary when you think about it. So when I started looking at what the banks were doing, I realized that they did two things that most people never really put their finger on. If I asked y'all what the banks do, y'all will say all type of stuff. The bank make money off of interest. The bank put their money in gold, silver, the market. The bank put their money into the blockchain. Y'all will say everything except for these two things. And when you mention these two things to people like, the bank don't really do that though. That ain't how they really make their money. And that's the sweet spot, because people don't really have a clue, and they tell people, but they know people are gonna overcomplicate everything, because poor people will overcomplicate the simplest things. Wealthy people just make sense. They're going to find out what it is and they're going to leverage it. Poor people are going to complicate it. They're going to create limitations for it. So when I found out that the bank put their money into policies and properties, I was blown away. Now, when I very first heard of this, I thought it was like be your own bank type thing. You know what y'all hear on social media all the time. Be your own bank, the in-home banking system. If you become your own bank, You can have enough money to put to the side instead you're going to get a mortgage with the bank. You can get your own home and put it up under your be on bank and have your own bank funded. Instead of you going to the bank and get your car and you got a car payment, you can be your own bank and get your like that's what I thought originally. I was like, well, that sounds great, but it got to be more than that because that just doesn't make sense. Because we're talking about pennies. And then when it clicked, I could have cried because this stuff was in my face. It still was them putting money into policies and properties, but not in the same process or the same fashion as we think. See, when I'm talking about policies, I'm talking about life insurance policies, big ones, massive ones, unrealistic life insurance policies that have a living benefit and a death benefit. It's almost scary when you think about it. I also, when I say properties, I'm not just talking about your house, no rental properties. I'm talking about land. The bank buy land every single day, and people don't even have a clue. It's almost unreal when you think about it because it's like if I told you the bank buy land every second on the day, you would look at me like I'm crazy. But then you'll turn around. In fact, let's do the exercise. I'll prove it. When I used to rent an apartment, right? When I used to rent an apartment, I had a couple of friends that had homes. And even though we were cool, they used to clown me a little bit about renting, y'all. It almost made me feel like they were better than me. Now I didn't get mad. I didn't take offense to it because it was just like, we just joking around. But I had this one friend that just wouldn't stop joking. And I would get a little irritated with him because I'd be like, bro, like, man, chill. Just because you got a house, it don't matter. Yeah, man, you need to become a homeowner, bro. Get your credit right, bro, so you become a homeowner, bro. Get your money up so you become a homeowner, bro. We got the keys to the home, bro. Not no freaking apartment. He used to clown me all the time, man. I'd be like, bro, chill out, man. I'm going to ask y'all a question. How many homeowners do we have in here currently right now today? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a homeowner. Put a 2 in the chat if you rent an apartment or you rent a condo or townhouse, whatever. But put a 1 in the chat if you're a homeowner. Put a 2 in the chat if you're renting. I just want to make sure we all on the same level playing field. We got a lot of homeowners in here tonight. That's cool. Or today, I should say. Which I think is cool. We got a couple of renters in here. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Let me ask a different question, because maybe the question wasn't accurate. So let me ask a different question. How many people own their home without a mortgage? If you own your home without a mortgage, put a 3 in the chat. If you own your home without a mortgage, put a 3 in the chat. We got a couple of people, right? I think that's impressive, right? To all my homeowners, right, that have a home and have a mortgage, you're renting from the bank. You don't own that home. You're renting from the bank. I just want to make sure we all on the same page, because I know that a lot of people take pride in home ownership. You're straight up and down renting from the bank. It is not yours. It's not yours ever. And we're going to get into that. You're saying no, but it's okay. Reality going to sink in at some point. The bank don't care nothing about your house. The bank don't care nothing about your home at all. The bank don't own your home. They don't care about owning your home or wanting it. They want the land because they just don't own your home, boys and girls. They also own the land too. Hope y'all picking this up. Somebody said, what about a car? If you're financing your car, you don't own that either. It just is what it is. You ain't got that title in your safe somewhere. The bank own it. That's why when you miss a payment, they can come and get it. Or they can foreclose on you. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. To my people who got a mortgage, right? Or don't have a mortgage, meaning you didn't pay your house off, it's free and clear, it is what it is. You're still renting too. You still have property taxes that you pay. If you miss paying those property taxes for so many years, that property will be taken away from you too. I'm just trying to put this in perspective. Just so we all on the same page. We gonna keep going. Now, I know we got some veterans out there that don't pay property taxes, right? And we got some other people that don't pay taxes. Now, a lot of people don't know this, and you probably should look up the laws just so we all on the same page, okay? Let's say you own a piece of land and you don't have property taxes because you're taking advantage of your veteran status. I'll just make sure we all on the same page, okay? Let's say you in an environment to where you have no taxes at all for whatever reason on your property, right? Watch this. This is going to get wild. Look up the law in your state because it's going to make a difference state by state. But if you call the police or the police is called too many times on that property, your property can be considered a word that I will not use on social media, and they can take your property. I'm going to say that one more time for the person all the way in the back. If you own a property free and clear, and you don't pay any property taxes because you have some form of a benefit that gives you an exemption from paying property taxes, if the police is called to your property so many times, there's a word in every state that I won't mention on social media where they can still take your property. How can they take your property if you own it? It's simple, y'all. You don't own nothing on this planet but your soul unless you sell it. I'm going to say that one more time for the person all the way in the back. You don't own nothing in this planet, on this planet at all, but your soul. And it's almost a scary thought how people don't understand that. When if you believe, right, in whatever you believe in, your higher power, your creator, whatever, the creator told us, depending on what you believe in, I don't know, for what I believe, right, the creator told us. The creator told us be fruitful and multiply. Got that, check that box, right? And whatever we create, we will have dominion over it, control. Whatever we create, we will have control over it. The creator didn't say, whatever you create, you will own it. The creator told you, you will have control over it. But somehow or another, we thought, since we created these different things that we have in our life, we thought somehow that we own these things when we were told that we only gonna be able to control them. Your kids, you created them, you don't own them. You have control over them until they become some form of a functional adult. And you don't even have full control over them when they're not in your presence sometimes. When your kids are at school, you ain't got no control over them. You're no longer their parent. The school is. That's why you just can't walk in the building and grab your kid out there. You got to get permission from the school. You better sign them out. I want you to think about what I'm sharing right now, because there's a bigger play. See, what happens is we're used to living off of all these things that we done learned, and we think we learned the right stuff. And what happened in this scenario is, for all of us, and none of us are exempt. I know we got people in here, especially, I'm looking in the chat, people think they smart and they think they know. You don't know nothing. I promise you don't. None of us do. We're not young enough to know everything. You know, the young folks know everything. But we're not young enough to know everything. The only thing that I know is, I know I don't know everything. I don't. And this is why you got to start unlearning this nonsense. You have people out there spitting out laws. Here's the law for this, this, and that. That sounds great. Sounds amazing. Now tell me how you interpreted it. You can't tell me what they meant. You can only tell me your interpretation of it. And that's cool. I'm not mad at you. You got to start somewhere. But at some point, you got to understand, when you're around somebody that may have a little bit more experience than you and have done a little bit more than you, gotta listen. Think. But people don't understand that. People can't wrap their brain around that. When I was at the bank studying this stuff, and I left the bank and I started digging deeper into this stuff, it was mind-blowing, the stuff that came out of this stuff, y'all. I didn't know I can own my own city in real life. I didn't know that was a real thing. I didn't know that if I didn't want to go to the grocery store, I can, in theory and in reality, create my own sustainable living on my own land myself. So I ain't never got to go to the grocery store ever again in life. And that's me being ignorant. That's me being crazy. I believe growing up, you had to go to college, get a great education. Once you get out of college, you're going to get the job of your dreams, and you're going to live and work until you retire, and then you're going to travel the world at 65 years old. That's what I thought, y'all. A part of that dream wasn't fulfilled because I didn't go to college. So I thought that I could have a good life because I didn't go to college. That's what I thought. I didn't realize it was all a game. Now I can say, oh man, I dodged that bullet. Imagine people, the smartest people you know, struggle the most. I want y'all to think about that for a second. The smartest people you know, they struggle the most. That's like an unreal situation. And they're not struggling because they're not smart people. That's not it. They're struggling because they're too smart for their own good. They're letting their education stop their education. Think. It's almost a scary thought when you sit back and start to really process this stuff. I have to sit back sometime and say to myself, like, man, there are people out there that I know are way smarter than me. And they're struggling every single day because of what they've been taught. They've been taught so much stuff that it's hard for them to unlearn all of these things. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If I went to school for 4 years, 8 years, and learned all this stuff and paid all this money for it, you ain't gonna sit up and tell me I need to unlearn this stuff. And I done paid all this money for it. The math don't math, y'all. That sounds like a Spider-Man thing. To whom much is given, much is required. There's a difference between being smart and intelligent. Sure. Absolutely. I mean, I guess, yeah, there's definitely a difference. Think. Like, I'm gonna have a moment here because I feel like I need to. I'm gonna be, y'all know sometimes when I be on live and I be sharing different things that I've done in real life, and people be like, nope, there's a different way to do it. And I'm like, all right, share a different way to do it. Because I mean, there might be a different way to do it. It's a different way to do everything. Sure, I believe that. But tell me the different way to do it. Right? And then when I asked them, talk to us how you did it in your life. Well, I haven't done it yet. So you know a better way to do something and you never done it? How do you know it's a better way if you actually never done these things? Well, I heard about it and I read some stuff about it. That sounds great, but until you actually have done it, I don't know if it's a better way. You don't know what mousetrap you're gonna run into because you haven't walked the walk yet. You just talking. You know how many times when y'all get to talking about land on these live platforms, people start mentioning things like an allodial title, and then when I ask them how much land they own, they say none. I said, okay, maybe I said it wrong. Not own. How much land do you control? None. Have you bought land before? No. What the hell you talking? I'm at a point on these lives, right? Right? Where I say to myself sometimes, and I'm going to start saying to y'all, some people that mention these different things. You be right, I'll be wealthy. You go ahead and be right, and I'm going to be wealthy. Because the reality of it is, we have so many people that have so many opinions that ain't never did nothing. Think about what I'm saying. So I sit back, right? And unlike a title, you can get an evaluation on a property with the very site. Yeah, you can, 100%. But I sit back and I try to think about ways of articulating certain things on these live platforms so things can click. It's not about you knowing everything. It's about you knowing the things that it boils down to in this business called the United States of America. Notice I didn't say a country. That's what it boils back down to. How are you going to conduct business in this business called the United States of America, not a country? And when you start to really peel back the layers, you're going to realize all this stuff is really common sense. All this stuff is really common sense. All of it. It's almost scary how much we overlook the common sense part of it, and we don't connect that dot. It's a scary thought. I have people joining my network, Zabo103tv.com, right? I have people joining my network all day, every day, right? And being that I have people joining my network all day, every day, it's almost scary, right? When I think about it, when I say it out loud, for it to be up 23 days now. But being that I have people joining my network all day, every day, sometimes my tech team will reach out to me and say, hey, I had somebody just ask a random question. And it be the same question every single time. Hey, man, we got to come up with a better mousetrap to show people how to log in. To log in, create an account with the email address that you paid with. Create a password. Remember the email address that you created the account with and the password? Once you do that, log in. So I went down this process of having my tech guy do a video, right, on how to log in. And then I came behind the video and did a voiceover on the video. I did a voiceover on it, sent it back to my tech guy so he can put it up on the site so people don't have a hard time figuring out how to create an account and log in. And my tech guy said, well, that should help with, maybe the 1 or 2 people that can't get in and they can't figure it out and they cancel it because they can't get in. And I said, oh, we be having people cancel because of that? He said, yeah. I said, oh, that's silly. I said, if somebody cancels because they can't get logged in, they don't need to be on the network. And I got love for them too. But over on the network, I want people to understand we over there taking action and nobody's going to hold your hand. No one. When you have a problem, come up with a solution. The solution process is what it is. So I'm talking to my tech guy. I talk to him, because I the main tech guy, I talk to him almost every day. I'm talking to him about this stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, I get it, man, but it could be difficult." I said, "But doing what I'm explaining for you to do, if you're not willing to solve the problem, it's going to be difficult. You can't be wealthy without solving problems. You can't. Wealthy people are problem solvers. And the wealthiest people on this planet solve the most problems. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. It's a wild situation to even wrap your brain around. So I sit back and I'm like, to my over 4,000 subscribers over there now, we growing fast too, y'all. We had to switch the freaking the payment processing center over there. Because what we had at first we're gonna cut it. Why am I saying all this stuff? I'm saying all this stuff to you today simply because you might be at work listening to me right now. You might be working your business listening to me right now. You want to figure out how to get out of your rat race of your job. You want to figure out how to take your business to the next level. It's just a problem that needs a solution. You're solving problems, y'all. How you get out of your rat race? You're going to solve problems. How you take your business to the next level? Solve problems. What does that require? What does that mean? You're going to have to sit time, have time to think about it, research some stuff. and take some action? That's what it boils down to. It ain't nothing more complicated than that. Just like becoming wealthy is only two things you need to know and two things you need to do. And we've been talking about that for the last couple of days. So I don't know if I need to repeat it, but I know we got some new people on here, so I'll repeat it. If you want to figure out how to become wealthy, and you haven't heard me talk about this already, put a 1 in the chat. If you want to become wealthy, put a 2 in it, put a 1 in the chat. If you want to become wealthy, put a 1 in the chat. There's actually 3 things you need to do. 3, not 2, 3. But it's really 2. I ain't gonna give you the third. Third one, I'm gonna let you figure the third one out. So it's 2 things. And I'll share them right now. It doesn't matter. I'll just share them before in here. And they're very simple. It's so simple that you can be like, oh, that's it. I knew that. Well, if you know it, why you ain't doing it? So let me share those 2 things. If you want to become wealthy, here's the first thing you need to do. Number 1. Hopefully y'all ready. For those who need to take notes, take notes. I don't care. Number 1, find out what wealthy people do and do what they do. I'm going to say that one more time because I know that might be complicated. And I know how, when you're poor, we have the tendency to overcomplicate everything, right? And put so many limitations on things. I'm saying exactly what I mean. You don't have to dissect or decode what I'm saying. It ain't no code. I'm being very literal about what I'm saying. And I'm very serious about what I'm saying. If you want to become wealthy, find out what wealthy people do and do what they do. It's a simple thing, y'all. That's first step. Okay? Step number 2. Step number 2. If you want to become wealthy, step number 2, find out what poor people do and don't do what they do. I'm going to say that one more time. If you want to become wealthy, find out what poor people do and don't do what they do. Number 2 should be pretty easy to figure out. Number 1, it might take you a little bit more digging, more research. But number 2, you should already know what poor people do. And don't do what they do. Go find out what the wealthy people do and do what they do. And I'm being so serious about what I'm saying. Now, let's peel back the layers of that. When you're looking at wealthy people, you got to identify, you need to understand the difference between who's wealthy and who's not wealthy. Wealth is not money, y'all. Wealth is time. So if you understand wealth is not money and wealth is time, then you need to identify real wealthy people, not these people that you just calling wealthy. LeBron James wealthy. No, he's not. When you start looking at people that are wealthy, it's people that they had wealth in their family for at least 100 years. I'm not wealthy yet. I'm building it. I done had wealth in my family for 5 years. Got 95 more years to go. My children's children will know exactly what wealth is to the T because we're going to be instilling it from me on down. Think about what I'm saying. Wealthy people don't trade time for money. Wealthy people trade money for time. So when you start looking at people that you're calling wealthy, if they're trading time for money, maybe they're going to get to a place where they built some wealth that they can leave and keep it going, and generation to come educate them. But if they're trading time for money, they're not wealthy. I hope y'all put that in perspective. She said, you said wealthy people work extremely hard. No, they don't. Name me one wealthy person that worked extremely hard. Go. Name me one wealthy person that worked extremely hard. Go. How long has Trump had wealth in his family? They've had some wealth for some time now. Wealthy people don't trade time for money, boys and girls. Wealthy people trade money for time. This is why when you go to work, your timesheet need to be accurate, because the wealthy people behind that business is paying for your time. That is the reason why the quickest way for you to get fired on your job is for you to falsify your timesheet, because these wealthy people is paying for your time. But too many times people attach wealth to money, and wealth is not money, it's time. Let's say Donald Trump then had wealth in his family for right at about 100 years. That's amazing. When he stopped trading his time for money, he's going to be wealthy. His kids, sons, daughters, wealthy. They making it happen 100%. Can't deny that. Trump father had some, Trump father was doing his thing. Don't get it twisted, y'all. So they right at about 100 years, if not a little bit more. And his grandfather. But as long as Trump is the president of the United States of America, and presidents gets a salary of $40,000, and he trade his time to continue getting money, once he retires from doing that, 100% right. But there's a young man out there walking around right now that you don't even know, called Nathaniel Phillips. That estate is worth $500 trillion. Wealth been in his bloodline for 500 years. He's 53 years old. And you ain't never heard of him. I'm going to say it one more time. There's a guy by the name of Nathaniel Phillips who's 53 years old. That family estate is worth $500 trillion. Wealth been in his bloodline for 500 years, and you don't even know he exists. But people don't hear that. People can't wrap their brain around that concept. They have no idea. But it's because of the things that we've been trained. And I keep saying, don't let your education stop your education. Don't let your education stop your education, people. Think $500 trillion with a T. With a T. Not a billionaire. With a T. Think about what I'm saying. We ain't got to do that. We can go over there and look at, what do they call the guy? I think he's the king or the prince of Dubai. Shout out to him. He just did a deal with Donald Trump giving America $1.8 trillion over the next 10 years to help the economy. He put $1.8 trillion into the economy. But you'll call him a billionaire when you see him. These companies that we're calling people wealthy ain't even worth 1.8 trillion. And he gave 1.8 trillion to help with the economy. He gonna get a return on his investment. Because wealthy people, only purpose of money is to make money. It has no other purpose on this planet. So while you're running around thinking it's about personal money, you ain't got no personal money. Nobody does. Money is not real. Money is always gonna go back to the original sender. What does that mean? It means that you only holding money to give it to somebody else. It's gonna always go back to the original sender. And you're not the original sender. None of us are. Think. That's what becomes so mind-blowing when you really start to pay attention to this stuff. So when I sit back and I say to myself, well, who's the original sender of money? Do y'all know who the original sender of money is? Put the person name in the chat. Who's the original sender of money? Go. It's none of us, by the way. None of us that's on this live platform, none of these platforms. It's none of us. So y'all can rule yourself out. It just is what it is. None of us are the original senders of money. And when I'm talking about original sender of money, I'm not just talking about the United States of America. I'm not just talking about these other countries, not the feds. Nope. Not even the Most High, not the Federal Reserve. There's a person. There's a name. God don't care nothing about your money. It ain't bricks. Bricks ain't a real thing. We call it the five families. Somebody said the Rothschilds. Woo. Woo. I think y'all getting there. Tell me the Rothschild name. Tell me the guy name right now. It's definitely a Rothschild. Tell me the family name. Tell me his name. Let me give you a hint. I just said it. Nathaniel Phillips Rothschild. His family started the 5 central bankings. That whole system came from them. Every time they agree to put money out there, it don't matter what country it is, but every dollar that go out, they make $9 off of it. You on a phone right now, you gonna get a phone bill of $100. They making $900 off of it. When you go get gas and put gas in your vehicle, you fill up that $100. They got $900 off of that. Your light bill is $300. They just made $2,700 off of that. Think. They had control of all of it. Because it got to go through one of the 5 central bankings, boys and girls, in order for that money to come into existence. Way before it get to the feds. Let me stop. I don't want no smoke. 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 This is a safe place, y'all. Everybody welcome. I'm just showing love. I'm just showing love. I know people get a little sensitive over here when I get on these topics, and that's the reason why I created my own network. Zabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio. It's like Netflix, but I can go live over there too. And these are the things that we go deep on. Because these are the things you need to understand so you know how to operate. You got to understand how to operate. You're trying to figure out how to level up and how to continue leveling up. Join the network. I'll show y'all how to connect the dots. And it's my own network. It ain't on YouTube. It ain't on Facebook. It ain't on Twitch. It ain't on Rumble. It ain't on TikTok. It's my own platform that I created. And it's wild when you think about how powerful the stuff. I need me some more lemonade milk. I need some more lemonade milk. That's what I need. Need some more lemonade milk. Let me get back to something a little bit lighter. Let me get back to something a little lighter because I know how these people get sensitive over here, man. And when they get sensitive over here, you know. When I was at Bank of America, I was there for 20 years as an executive, as an executive without a college degree. I was over the small business credit card department, the collection side of the house. So when you would hear the loss number for Bank of America small business credit card, I was the person reporting numbers to the street. I used to make a couple $100,000 a year at the bank. And I was responsible for 459 people directly and indirectly. We were responsible for generating $720 million a year, $60 million a month, and we couldn't miss it all. If we had 1 month that we missed, somebody on the production floor was going on performance management. If we missed 2 months in a row, we were progressing that person on the production floor. We missed 3 months in a row, one of their managers was going on performance management. We missed 4 months in a row, one of their managers getting progressed. Right? If we missed 5 months in a row, we were progressing the manager again. We missed 6 months in a row, one of their manager was going on performance management. If we missed 9 months in a row, I ain't have no job, y'all. No, like you would think when I was there, I thought that the transaction fees were like, I thought the interest rate at first was where they were making their money. And then I realized the transaction fees make more money than the actual, like the late fees and all this other stuff. The transaction fees were powerful. I was like, oh man. So you tell them when people go swipe their card at that merchant, that payment center where you tap in now, you're swiping, whatever it is, that's a merchant block. The bank charges a transaction fee for that. In most cases, these stores, they actually account for that in their prices. But the bank charge you for a merchant fee. Even if you're online and you get a merchant account online, you have a transaction fee. That's why I thought the bank was making all their money. Not late fees and interest rates. You have customers that can have a 20% interest rate on their credit card if they pay it in full 2 times and pay it in full going forward after that, they have no interest on their credit card. They're not getting a late fee and they ain't got no interest rate. Those are not profitable customers anyway. And if they paying it in full and they're not using it, they're really not profitable because they weren't getting that transaction fee. Think about what I just said. It's almost scary when you think about that, right? But I thought that's where the bank, when I thought it was late fees and interest rate at first when they're making their money. Then I thought it was the transaction fees. Then I was like, well, they double dipping with these accounts that's charging off because you paying these money back, right? As much as you possibly can with interest, and then they sell it, right? And all the money that's left over off of the card that you didn't pay, that they didn't get money for. So let's say they settle for 25% through a collection agency or 10 cents on the dollar, whatever they sell it to that collection agency for. That 90% that's left over, the bank writes that off, right? So I was like, well, that's how they making all their money. Nope. When it finally connected to me that the bank make money off of land and insurance policies and the money that they make from late fees interest rates, transaction fees, writing off the actual debt was a drop in the freaking bucket. That's $720 million a year that I used to generate with that 459 employees that I led the efforts of. My unit, my site was the smallest piece of the pie in the bank. The consumer side was way bigger. The mega business side was even bigger. But the biggest thing in there was insurance policies and land. I couldn't unsee that stuff, y'all. So when you hear me say, I do what the banks do, I put my money into policies and properties because I realized that that's where the money's at. And to my surprise, when I started doing this stuff, it changed my bloodline life forever. It changed my bloodline life forever. And I can't stress this stuff to y'all enough that once you see this stuff, it's going to click. And when it click, you're going to have a few hours where you're going to have to adjust to it. You might be a little irritated that it took you this long in your life to figure this stuff out. But when I start applying this stuff and seeing this stuff work, it was wow, y'all. You can go to any site, really. LandWatch, LoopNet, Trulia, Zillow, it don't matter. Speak to a real estate agent specializing in land, they'll send you some land. It was crazy, y'all. And I say this all the time because I know it's going to click the more times you hear it. As a person that hadn't tried everything, y'all, anything you can think of, I've tried it. And I'm telling you, those things that I was trying, the same stuff that people be talking about today, I couldn't retire my wife, let alone myself. Couldn't do it. When I was day trading, maybe if I would have, stayed heavy in it, maybe I could have retired my wife and retired myself. Maybe, I don't know. It'd have been a struggle, especially right now. I would have been having tapping into options because that's the only thing that I in this with where the market's at right now. I would have been in the option world heavy to make my money. I wouldn't have had a choice, right? And it was almost unreal. Well, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. So your question is, how does land bring you cash flow? That's a great question. That's a really great question. So let me explain how it brings you cash flow. Well, let me ask the question. Let me put it in the chat for people. How does land bring you cash flow that you know of today? Let me ask that question back to you. When you buy land, how does buying land bring you back cash flow? What's one way you can think of it? What's up, family? How can land bring you a cash flow? Give me an example of one way land can bring you back cash flow. Just one. And there's billions of ways. I just need one. What type of rent, though? You saying rent? Like what type of rent? What type of leasing? Farming, okay. Crops, trees. What else? Rental properties, farming, selling wood, cell phone towers. Got to stay connected, right? This stuff I got on my back, the stuff you got on your back, the stuff you got on your back. Solar panel farms, that's big business right there. Hunting, that's big business too. Trail rides, I like that right there. What about airports? Hangars? What about pecan trees? As a person that planted 100 acres of pecan trees and ain't selling pecan pies, That's a different animal. That's a totally different animal. What happens if you lease your land out to the military? So that's a real thing, right? What if you do a lifetime lease with Walmart? The timber company will pay you $4,000 an acre to come and cut your trees. Y'all got real fireplaces at y'all property, right? I know everybody got electric fireplace these days, but y'all got real fireplace at y'all properties right now. Where you think the wood come? Where you think them logs coming from? The mulch that's making the homes around your house pretty. Where do you think it's coming from? Let's go a little bit deeper. Them eggs that's at the grocery store that y'all trying to find the cheapest ones of all, where you think it's coming from? Landowners. Do you know Purdue Chicken will lease your land from you so they can have their chickens over there doing what they do? Mhm. What if it's a flood zone? Now that's crazy. If it's a flood zone, you can't make no money in a flood zone land. Florida is a flood zone. Hawaii is a flood zone. Turks and Caicos is a flood zone. Jamaica is a flood zone. Mm, 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 mm. Shout out to Tony. He ain't been on my live in a couple of times. He be coming in and coming out every blue moon. Tony's on my live. He heard me say, man, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and not up and down. Plus, all these other things you can do. I explained that to him. He said, man, I got some land right out here outside Orlando, man, and I'm having a tough time at it, man. I don't know what else I can do. We talked about all type of stuff. He left. He came back in about 2 weeks, about 2-3 weeks. Zay, boy, I appreciate your family. I just want to let you know the goat meat business is good. I said, what you talking about, bro? He said, man, goat meat, the #1 selling meat in the world. I said, huh? Goat meat? Not chicken? Not beef? No, bro. Goat meat is the #1 selling meat in the world, and the goat meat business is great. I said, what are you talking about, bro? He said, man, I thought about what you said, man, and I figured it out, man. I'm selling goat meat now. You know, you can go get goats from a livestock auction for $80. Do you know you can go get goats? You go get a whole goat right now for $80 at a livestock auction. But you didn't hear that from me. You can go to, I don't know, maybe a processing center or a butcher, and you can go get you a half a cow and tell them to cut it up. I want ground beef. I want steaks. I want ribs. I want some chalk. And you go buy a half a cow, and it'll last your whole household a year and a half. Cost you less than $1,500. And that'll feed a household of 6 for a year and a half. The refined sugar that's in your pantry right now come from a bone of a cow. The antifreezer in your car, it comes from the cow, y'all. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. The soap you wash, it would come from the fat of the cow. I don't mess with cows, man. I'm a vegan. That antifreeze in your car coming from a cow. I got a Cybertruck. My Cybertruck vegan. The tires on your Cybertruck ain't vegan. It comes from the fat of the cow. Collagen to prevent wrinkles. To put collagen back in your body, ladies and gentlemen, it comes from the organ of the cow. Medication comes from the organ of the cow. Your vegetables that you eat that's making you vegan is coming from the fertilizer from the cow. You telling me you don't eat that, but you'll eat that. Make that make sense? Come on, y'all. People don't hear this stuff. The people over there at Zabo 103 TV do. They do. They hear it over there. In fact, this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be live on my network at Zabo103TV.com at the livestock auction. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So you can see this stuff happening in real time. Think about what I just said. But people don't hear that. You got to unlearn this nonsense. When I was at Bank of America making a couple $100,000 a year, you wouldn't have made me believe I would have been able to retire my wife and retire myself and retire 25 of my family members. You wouldn't have made me believe that. But I learned this nonsense. I went from making a couple $100,000 a year to a couple $100,000 a month. And then I went from making a couple $100,000 a month. Now I can make a couple $100,000 every other day. Because I started seeing this other stuff. I started paying attention to what this stuff really was. And I wasn't overcomplicating it. I was taking it for exactly what it was. Think. People don't hear that. Here's the scarier part, y'all. I've been going live now for the last 137 weeks straight, showing people and telling people how you can do exactly this stuff that I'm talking about from exactly where you at. We didn't talk about how you do this if you make $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $30,000 a year, $18,000 a year, $8,000 a year, $1,500 a year on Section 8. Just lost your job. Just got out of prison. We even talked about how you do this if you homeless. You don't lack money. You lack information and taking action with the information that you get. Do you understand how different your life would be if you didn't have no bills? Do you really understand how different your life would be if you didn't have no bills? I understand it because they ain't got no bills. Nobody hears this stuff. Nobody can process this stuff. And I explain it 100 million ways. And I talk about all these different things. So I got a question for y'all. How many of y'all are looking to try to change your life? How many of y'all want to be in that position? And I'm talking about really. I know people going to just say, I do, I do, I do. I don't want to hear this, I do. I don't want to hear that. I mean, you do want to do these things and actually mean it. Do you know if you was in a position where you didn't have to pay for food, water, shelter, clothes on your back, your life would change. Your life would change. All this stuff that people be talking about, you got to work hard. No, you don't. It's almost scary. That would be awesome. I love that. That would be awesome. Do you understand how different your family is going to interact with you Not only when you ain't got no more bills, you put them in a position to where they ain't got no more bills because you understand now. Do you understand that when you break that curse off of your bloodline back to build real generational wealth, do you understand how your family gonna embrace you and love on you? I got 99 employees. I take care of 72 households. When you start feeding other people, if you're one of those people that said they ready and they mean it, I don't know why you're not on my network. I don't know why you haven't joined Zabo103TV.com. I have no clue why you haven't joined. And if you have, y'all already know. Y'all already know. Because y'all know, because y'all saw a lot before, and then y'all see even more. Y'all don't hear me just talking about it. Y'all see it. Because everything I talk about, I'm actually doing. And that's the part that's scary. Nothing stops you from changing your life. The biggest problem that you have right now is that you think you know. That was my biggest problem. I thought I knew. It wasn't fear. It wasn't money. It wasn't support. It was none of those things. It was, I thought I knew. And I used to be that person that when somebody entered the room that knew more than me, I would try to express to them and tell them how I know. I'd be telling them what I got going on to tell them how I know. And I should have been shutting up and paying attention. When that stuff clicked, the most talking, Zabo103TV.com, the link is in the bio. The most talking that I do in a day's time is when I get on these lives. That's the most talking that I do. Or when I'm on my own live, on my network, Zabo103TV.com. Other than that, I'll be talking. I be looking, I be thinking, I be researching and taking action. That's right. It's $12.99 a month for less than a freaking meal. And the scary part about that is you're going to learn in more details of how to operate in public and in private. You're going to understand that you're not supposed to be using money personally. And being that you're not using money personally and you operate in public and in private, when you sign up for the network, you're signing up under your public side, right? So that public side you just signed up for, it didn't cost you $12.99 a month. It just became a business expense because you operate in public and in private. So it ain't even costing you a dime. You actually put more money in your pocket versus giving it to Uncle Sam. But nobody hears that. And I'm a person that believes in a return on your investment and a return on your energy. Think. Think. When when it finally clicked, and the people that's been on my live now for the last almost 3 years now, because I've been going live almost 3 years, right? For the people that's been on my live for almost 3 years now, in the very beginning stages, all the way back to, I've had wealth in my family now for 5 years, right? So 2020 time frame is when I actually had it. when I actually saw it and understood it, it didn't click for me until probably about 2021, early 2022. That's when it clicked. That's when it clicked. And the people that's on my lives, and that's why you'll see in my lives, you'll see sometimes people will say certain things in support of what I'm sharing. They saw it because I told them. I'm gonna give you an example. When I left Bank of America, right? My idea was, this was my thought process, because I didn't know. I didn't understand I was in wealth, right? I didn't understand it. I'm making a couple $100,000 a month at that point, right? When I first left Bank of America. So what I was doing was, my thought process was, every single month, I'm making my yearly salary. So I'm gonna take a year worth of living expenses and put it to the side. Every month, I'm gonna put a year worth of living expense to the side. And the reason why I was doing that, I was saying, because if everything go to hell, and I've done it for a year, I at least have 12 years worth of living expenses. That was my thought process. So I had then calculated all my living expenses that I had, and every month, of course, I had my business expenses, I had taxes. Every month, I would take my living expenses and put it away. That's what I was doing. So when I started going live, I would tell people, hey, y'all, I got 36 years worth of living expenses. I got 22 years of I would tell people that stuff because that's what I was doing. I got off live one day and I went and sat down with somebody, a close friend to the family. Let me just say it that way. And he accidentally poured something into me. I don't think he meant to do it. Now, this close friend to the family, my dad's best friend, who don't look like me, who done had wealth in his family for over 400 years, I don't think he meant to share that information with me. What he shared with me was so subtle that if I wasn't in my mode of thinking, researching, and taking action, right, I would have missed it. But since I was in that mode, as soon as he said it, my eyes got buck wide. I was like, huh? And he instantly knew he had told me. I don't think he meant to share that. The next day when I came back live, and for people that was on my live during that time, they will tell you, I was still shaking up. I couldn't believe it. I was literally scared because I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, like, I can't believe this stuff. That next morning, I made one move. That one move put my bloodline in a position to have a head start to everybody in my bloodline for the next 1,000 years off of one move. I remember coming on live, still being shaken up. After I did, I was like, man, I know I told y'all I done had wealth in my family for, I got wealth right now, and I got 36 years of living expenses, but I ain't got 36 years of living expenses anymore. I just don't. I don't need it. If I leave this planet right now, for the next 1,000 years, everybody in my bloodline gonna have a head start. That's when it clicked. I didn't realize I was in wealth at all. It's a scary thought, y'all. So what I'm explaining right now is, you're not removed from that situation either. On Zabo103tv.com, I show you how I connected those dots. Some of those things that I have to talk about, I'll get suspended on these platforms if I mention the words. That's a real scary thought. I even tried that day. You're almost there, family. It's a piece of the pie. I came live that next day shaking up about it, and I started talking about it. And when I started talking about it, I got suspended. I didn't understand why I got suspended. I'm like, why the heck they suspend me? I ain't saying nothing wrong. I got suspended for a week. And then after that week of me thinking about it, I started like, oh, that's what I said. I can't say that. I would go live again and just talk about different things, and it still would slip up and come out, and I would get suspended again. And then I got better at not saying these different things because I kept saying to myself, the more I keep saying this stuff, I'm gonna keep getting suspended. So I can't talk about these different things. So I stopped talking about it on social media. I have a choice. 45 days ago, I don't know why I got into my feelings one day. I was just excited. 45 days ago, I'm gonna show y'all how crazy it is. 45 days ago, I got on TikTok specifically. And I was on TikTok doing a positive affirmation morning routine with people on the live, just talking about what stuff was, and just pouring into people, getting people light. And I got a little bit too excited, and I said what I shouldn't have said. And I got suspended for 5 hours. My team figured out a way to get me back on. But by then I was like, man, why I can't say this is stupid. This is crazy. So when I was vetting it out with my team, one of my tech guys that's on my team, he said, we can build your own platform. I said, for real? Yeah, the link is in the bio, Szabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio for sure. But I was venting to my team, and my team, one of my tech guys was like, we can create your own platform. I said, like, YouTube? He said, yeah. I said, well, what you gonna do? You gonna get me a YouTube account? I got a YouTube account. He was like, no, like you can have your own platform. I said, like Twitch? He's like, nah, man, it's gonna be your own platform. I said, my own? He said, yeah, and you can say what you want to say over there. You say anything you want to say, it ain't gonna matter. It don't matter. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I said, well, what is it gonna be? He said, whatever you want it to be. I said, so you can make me a platform where I can go live and people can come over there and watch me live to do this? He said, yeah. I said, okay, cool. I said, I got it. Also, I want some shows over there. He said, yeah, like Netflix. He said, we can do that too. I said, so, okay, I can have shows over there like Netflix? He said, yeah, we can do all that. And it'll be your own. So I don't know what my next question was. Well, how much is it going to cost me to build this platform? Because the only purpose of money is to make money. I know that. And the people on my platform know that. I ain't spending no money. I ain't making no money off of it. That ain't how that works. The only purpose of money is to make money. Plus, if I'm going to pay for this platform for my own network, that ain't going to tell you how much it costs, but it's enough to be like, I ain't paying for it. I ain't gonna pay for the platform and get the people stuff. I can't do that. The only purpose of money is to make money. So they were like, well, you were gonna build out a course. We wanted you to charge 10 grand for the course. You got it down to 1,300. Charge people 1,300 to get on the platform. I'm like, I ain't charging nobody no damn $1,300 to be on no platform. They're like, we got to come up with a number. I said, I got a number. They said, how much? I said, we'll do an early bird special where we do $9.99 a month. And then that early bird special in, and we'll do our next early bird special. It'll be $12.99 a month. For the people that get grandfather in early, they can get it at a cheap price. Once the network is built up to where it need to be at, where I'd be like, all right, it's cool. We can charge, $100 a month for it. The people that grandfathered in, they still gonna be at their grandfather state. They said, you gonna charge $12.99 a month? I said, yeah. That's what it's gonna be ultimately for a long period of time until we get it built up. He said, all right, well, you can have some shows on there. I said, yep, we got shows on there. We go live on there. In fact, we just got off live earlier today. That replay of that live is on the network as well, Szabo103tv.com. You can check out the live over there. You got shows that air every week, like Netflix or like some of these other platforms, right? He said, yeah, man, that'll be cool, man. You should make that happen. I said, yep, that's what we're going to do. Boom, make it happen. How long can y'all do that? Right? How long gonna take y'all? He said 2 weeks. I said, well, my wife wanted a platform. She wanted a platform too, since we're talking about it. All right, y'all working hers first, because her network of people is bigger than mine, and she really passionate about some other stuff she got going. Let that happen. Right? They built her network in 2 weeks. And when they got done building her network, they built my network in 2 weeks. It's been up for 21 days now. I go live on my network on Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the replays come up right afterwards. I came on live after I had that conversation with the people on live. After I had the conversation with the people on my team, I said, y'all, I'm not coming on social media complaining about being suspended. I'm coming on social media to let y'all know I'm building my own network. That was 43 days ago. The network been up almost, actually 3 weeks today. Because I'm not talking, y'all. I'm actually doing. All of these things that you're hearing me talk about on these live platforms, on the network, wherever, I was doing all these things before the network came up. What should that tell you? I didn't do a network for no money. That's not how I make my money. I'm gonna say it one more time. I didn't build out a network for money, y'all. That's not how I make my money. When I left Bank of America, I went and bought 55 acres of land when I left Bank of America. I went to the bank and I had a good amount of capital, right? A good amount of capital. And I had good business credit and good personal credit. Actually, great personal credit, right? I tried to get the bank to partner with me to build a 52-home subdivision. The bank looked at my credit for my business and my personal. They said, this is great. They looked at the money that I had for us in capital. They said, this is amazing. And they still told me they couldn't partner with me. It ain't had nothing to do with the color of my skin. It had more to do. And they told me, go straight forward. You ain't got no experience. And instead of me going to find the licensed builder that I got originally to help me build the stuff and have him partner with me, I got irritated because I still was a little emotional. I still was an emotional dude. So I got irritated and arrogant. I said, okay, don't worry about it. I already bought the land. I got the capital to do these different things. I just wanted to do all of them at once, and I can't get them done all at once. That's cool. I'll just build them out one at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time, 5 at a time. And I took the money out my pocket and built 29 homes out my pocket, cash. No loans. Think about what I'm saying. As I was going through that process, the 10-year plan that y'all hear that I explain to y'all on how y'all can do exactly what I'm saying without no money saved. Who cares if your credit bad? Who cares about any of that stuff? You can do it from exactly where you at. That's why I got the process from y'all. The only difference was I wasn't pulling the money from no life insurance policy. I was pulling money from money that I was making on my different businesses that I had going. I was pulling money away, that lump sum of money that I got from my 401k, because my 401k was good until they taxed the heck out of it and got hit with all them damn penalties. So I'm not coming up with this scenario that I'm telling y'all out the blue, and it may work, it may not work. I also owned a toilet paper company called Triumph Tissue. 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets, the closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk. But I went on here selling that to y'all. I was selling to the government. Nobody don't hear that stuff. And people like, man, you got toilet paper business, you got the real estate business. I'm trying to figure out how you connected the dots. Let me explain, boys and girls. Toilet paper is made out of mixed wood pulp and virgin wood pulp, boys and girls. Trees. People don't hear that. So what you think I did with those 55 acres of land when we start clearing the trees? But you don't hear that. So wait, you weren't paying for the toilet paper? I was paying to get it mixed. To create it, to bring it to you. But nobody don't hear that. Because you're not thinking. You're not understanding. This stuff is wow, y'all. And that's the part where I sit back and I be like, that ain't even a drop in the bucket. Y'all watch me go live and get suspended for doing this one, right? I went and found 3 acres of this. And I can't even say that word still, because they'll hit me in the head for that, right? I ain't even gonna say it. Y'all can do the math on it. I went and bought 3 acres of this. Right at about 6 figures. Like a little bit over 100 grand. 3 acres. 3. And I turned those 6 figures into 7 figures in 2 months. Because I understood something different. I understood that if I'm a person, I can't even say it. I want to get suspended. Let me be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. What I'm explaining to you is, if you're one of those people that's been in fear, you're one of those people that want to change your life, you're one of those people that want to change your family life, you've been imagining all this time what it would be like for you to be in a situation where you didn't have to stress about certain things, bills. Maybe your kid got prom coming up. You can't afford really to pay for it, but you're going to figure it out. These holidays keep popping up and you want to consume in these holidays. Join Zabo103tv.com. We ain't just talking about it. We being about it. Period. And I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't know another way to say it. Even with me sharing the things that I share, less than 1% of the people are going to take action on it. Less than 1% of the people. I don't do one-on-one calls, man. I don't have time for that. See, one of the things that you're going to learn, and this is the one thing that I want people to, I really want stuff where people can where it can click. You're going to realize when you join the network and you start seeing the movement and start doing different things, right? You're going to realize the only thing that you really got to do in these situations is just listen, research, and take action. When you're listening, you're thinking about what you're hearing, right? When you research a thing, you're bringing it to reality. After that, you're just taking action. Whenever I have somebody that asks me about doing one-on-ones, I'm like, okay, now you're going to have me trading time for money. If you want me to do a one-on-one, you're going to have me trading time for money. To do a one-on-one for my time, it will cost you an arm and a leg. Getting it for the $12.99, just having the stuff go out as it go out and come to you as it come to you so you can walk through that journey, man, that's a steal. Because if I had to do a one-on-one with somebody, it would cost them $100,000 an hour. And I think I'm still lowballing in that situation, just based off of the things that I understand today. But as you know, because I think you're on the network, family. But as you know, over on the network, man, I'm giving y'all everything on the network. It's like that whole concept. Y'all remember what was it? When they were doing that saying, they were saying, would you rather have 500,000 or have dinner with Jay-Z? And everybody like, man, I want to have dinner with Jay-Z. I'm like, are y'all crazy? I'm taking the 500,000. I don't care about no Jay-Z. Jay-Z had to figure it out. When he got the 500,000, he wasn't trying to have lunch with nobody. He would replace that. He had to go figure it out. I'm taking the money because I can figure out what I need to do. I don't care about Jay-Z. And it was so funny, right? When Jay-Z had a meeting with, I think her name Gayle King, right? He had a meeting with her and said, have you heard about the little challenge they were talking about? Would they rather meet with you or take 500,000? And people really want to meet with you? Say, well, he's like, that's a bad deal. That's a bad deal. Why would you do that? You got to take the 500,000. That's a bad deal. I gave you everything for $9.99. I gave you everything for $9.99. When I hear people asking about one-on-ones, and it was funny, that's why I brought it up. When I hear people asking me about the one-on-ones, I'm giving it to you for the $12.99. You get it? I have priced my network so cheap to the point that it becomes a no-brainer. And I know I'm over-delivering in these situations. Because these are things that you would never hear. You would never hear it. If I wasn't getting on social media talking about these different things, I'm not gonna say you would never hear it, because I don't think that's true. I think you would hear it because you have heard these things before. You still wouldn't know how to connect the dots. And that's what I do. I connect dots because that's what wealthy people do. Remember what I said. If you want to be wealthy, there's only two things you need to do. Find out what wealthy people do and do what they do. Find out what poor people do and don't do what they do. That's the only thing that's separating you. So let me get away from the network for a second. Definitely, absolutely join. I am going to give you a return on your investment way before you get on the network, because I just think it's the right thing to do. I'm going to give you a return on your investment before you even join the network right now. That's what we're going to do. I'll give you a return on investment right now, because I think that's where people get stuck sometimes. And I see a bunch of people joining. I appreciate everybody that did join. You know what I'm saying? I do. But even though you just joined, I'm about to give you your return on investment right now. Okay? I hope that's fair. If you're okay with that, I guess put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, you understand, but I'm gonna give you a return on your investment right now. All right, cool. So these replays are gonna be on YouTube at Zabel 103, Facebook at Xavier Gibson, Instagram at Instagram at Zabo103 on Instagram. So you'll be able to, if you missed the replay, you'll be able to catch it. If you decide you want to screen record right now, you can screen record. You want to take out a pen and pad and take notes, take notes. It doesn't matter to me. So we're going to get into it. The first thing that you got to understand is that, and I say the same stuff because it's something different. It's going to click every time I say it. But money is not real. It's never been real. It ain't never going to be real. period. You're supposed to be using money today for public and private debts. I'm going to say that one more time. You're supposed to be using money for public and private debts. You're not supposed to be using money personally, but you do. And that's why you struggle. The longer you use money personally, the longer you're going to struggle. I don't know how to make that plainer than what I just made it, right? So with that being said, if you're not supposed to use money personally, you're supposed to use it for public debts and private debts. How does that work? Well, you need to identify the legitimacy behind the money not being real. And then you need to legitimize what you're using money for and why is that different than what you do today. So what I want y'all to do out the gate is, and we'll go through the first drill, I want y'all to put in the chat what y'all use money personally for today. And I'm going to go through these different stories every single time, y'all, because I know it's going to help people connect the dots. My people that's been for a while, we done been through this 100 million times. Y'all can assist where y'all see people that may need some help with understanding. But for the people that are new to the live, and maybe I should ask that, how many people do we have that's new to the live on? Put a one in the chat if you're new to the live. Maybe I should do that because we got a lot of people that's been here a while. I'm going to connect the dot in a different way. How many people are new to the live in here? Put a one. Oh, it's a bunch of people. I thought we were going to. All right, cool. All right, cool. Cool. All right. So my question to all of you all that are new in here, my people that's around, my people that's been here, y'all should already be on the network. It shouldn't even be a question. So tap in on the network for sure. But my people that are new, what do you use money personally for today? Put it in the chat. Tell me what you use money personally for today. And be very specific. Don't say everything. Don't say bills. Tell me what you use money personally for today. Exactly what? What kind of bills? Those things matter. Food come up first every single time, boy. You right on it. What's the name? Drop in Gems podcast. Shout out to you. Food come up first every time. 100%. What are goods? I don't know what good is. What is living? What is living? We don't know what that is. Tell me specifically what you spend money on. Food, gas, mortgage, schools. Okay. Travel. Okay. Rent. Okay. Car insurance. 2-ply. Gotta wipe it. I'm with you. Maintenance. Okay. That's cool. I like that. Electric, lights, clothes, shoes. What kind of, like you say, debts? Okay, debts. We'll take debts. It's a little broad. Gas, like gas for your house, gas for your car, medical, daycare. That's a big one, right? But daycare is big, right? Mortgage, car insurance, phone bill, maintenance, electric debts. Okay, cool. What else? Anything else? The reason why I keep asking y'all what else is y'all ain't told me that y'all use money personally for. Zabo 103 TV still ain't told me nothing using money personally for. Subscriptions still ain't told me nothing using money personally for. Life insurance, you still ain't told me nothing using money personally for. I'm still waiting, y'all. I'm listening. I'm trying to make this make sense. Tell me what y'all use money personally for. I'm waiting. Nails, I like that. Nails, okay. All of that. Something to drink, I guess Red Bull, vacations, okay. Might be a real thing. Okay. What's up, family? So let's dive into it. To keep it in your pocket? How does that work? What do you keep it in your pocket for? Okay. Supplies for your son. We were taught a whole bunch of that, Nick. I'm with you on that, family. Like you said, something right there that's real. We 100% were taught that. So let's do this a second. Let me help y'all connect the dots, right? Because I'm going to give you your return on investment for joining Zabo103tv.com. Watch this. Watch this. If everybody on each platform can pull out some cash. Now, if you don't have cash, you're going to have to take the opinion of somebody else that do got some cash in their hand. I need you to take some cash out. If it's a United States of America cash, right? So it'll be $1 bill, $2 bill, $5 bill, $10 bill, $20 bill, $50 bill, $100 bill, even a $250 bill. I heard that's coming out next. If you got some cash that you can pull out, okay, from your purse, your wallet, your pocket, pull out the cash. And when you pull out that cash, put a 1 in the chat for me, because I need at least one person on each platform to keep me honest, okay? At least one person. I need one person to keep me honest. So put a 1 in the chat if you're on TikTok. Instagram, somebody, if you got some cash or whatever, put a 1 in the chat. YouTube, Facebook, World, where all these other platforms, put a 1 in the chat. If not, y'all gonna have to take the advice from y'all gonna have to trust the people over on TikTok. It's almost 200 people over there on TikTok, y'all. So y'all have to trust them. So we're gonna dig in. I don't want to make this longer than what it is. We've been on it for almost 2 hours, and I got to get ready to wrap. But let's go there, okay? For those people that got cash in your hand that you can look at, I want y'all to look at the back of your cash for me. I want you to look at the back of your cash for me, and I want y'all to keep me honest. So let's go through a little test run of keeping me honest. On the back of your money, you should see something that says the United States of America. At the top, back of your money, at the very top, you should see something that says the United States of America. If y'all see the United States of America on the back of your money at the top, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to make sure y'all keeping me honest, right? Put a 2 in the chat if you see the United States of America on the back of your money at the top. Okay, y'all see that. So I ain't tripping, right? The United States of America is a business, y'all. And it's a public business. It is not a country. I'm going to say that one more time because I don't want to strike no nerves with what I'm saying. The United States of America is a business, and it's a public business. It is not a country. I just want to make sure we all on the same page. How do I know the United States of America is a business and not a country? Businesses have kings and queens. Well, no, I said that wrong. Countries have kings and queens. I think we all can agree to that. Countries have kings and queens. Businesses have presidents and vice presidents like your job. I'm going to say that one more time. Countries have kings and queens. Businesses have vice presidents like your job. Somebody say, it's not a business. Okay, you're right. I'll be wealthy. Go ahead and be right. I'll be wealthy. That's cool. It's all love to me. The United States of America is a public business. Right below the United States of America, you should see something that says, "In God We Trust." You should see it. Now, I was told this part. I don't know if it's true. I was told that the "In God We Trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust. If that's true, oh, I'm freezing. I know why I'm freezing. Y'all let me know if that's better on TikTok. I think I connected to the Bluetooth in one of the vehicles. You should see "In God We Trust" right below the United States of America. This part, again, I don't know is true, right? But I believe it, right? I was told that "In God We Trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust. I'm frozen? All right, I want to go far. If I'm frozen, let me go ahead and come out of there. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see and hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see and hear me. I should be coming through. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see and hear me. Yeah, I think it's lagging because I connected to the vehicle. All right, so Instagram, y'all can see me. YouTube, Facebook. I think it's just this TikTok. Oh, it's them? All right, cool. What's up, family? I should be good now. All right, cool. So right below the United States of America, you should see something that says, "In God We Trust." Right? You should see something that says, "In God We Trust." Now, this part I was told, I don't know if it's true, but the "In God We Trust," I was told, is the name of the United States of America's trust. That's what I was told. If that's true, I don't think I got to convince nobody to make them understand that a trust is private. If it's private, it goes in a trust. If it's public, it goes in a business. Notice I ain't said nothing about nothing being personal. Remember, it's not personal, it's just business. What they're really telling you is it's not personal, it's public. It's not personal, it's private. You get it? So it's on your money to begin with, right, y'all? But that's not enough really to convince nobody because it's just words. You just got a word salad, bro. What that mean? If it's private, it goes in a trust. If it's public, it goes in a business. Watch this. Turn your money around to the front. Turn your money around to the front. On the front of your money, find the fine print. Put your reading glasses on if you need to. You should see something that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." I'm going to read that again. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. If you see that on your money, put a 3 in the chat. If you see what I just said to you on the front of your money, put a 3 in the chat. I froze up again. Let me try it again. Let me see if I can get back in now. TikTok is doing some weird stuff, man. Hopefully that makes sense. They do badly. If I'm back on TikTok, put a 1 in the chat. On TikTok, if y'all can see and hear me, put a 1 in the chat. All right, y'all can see me. All right, cool. So where I was at, I was asking you all to look at the front of your money, right? On the front of your money, you should see something that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." You should see something on the front of your money. OJ, shout out to you for going over to the YouTube family. You should see something that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." If you see that on your money, put a 3 in the chat. I know we put a 3 in the chat on Instagram and the other platforms. TikTok, if y'all see that on the front of your money, put a 3 in the chat. It didn't say nothing about personal at all. It said for public debts and private debts. Okay? But why is it on your money? It's instructions, boys and girls. They've been telling you your whole life what you're supposed to be doing with money. But in your head, you can't wrap it around, "Well, I got to eat. It got to be personal. I got to go on vacation. I got to subscribe to Zabo103TV.com. I got to have money personally, right?" And this is where I'm going to say, you got to think. So I'm going to help you connect the dots. Anytime I ask people what they need money for personally, the first thing that pops up is food. Food, 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 food. Right? I'm going to ask you a question. When you at your job and the morale all down and your job want to get the morale up, they don't give y'all no raise. They don't give y'all no bonus. What they give y'all? Pizza. Add some wings to it. Get y'all a couple of Pepsis. And then they expense it because food is public. Uh-oh. This is going to get scary. I got 99 employees. 99. 8 of those 99 employees is me, my wife, and all 6 of our kids. The one thing none of those 99 employees ever have to worry about is bringing food to work. The business buy food for them every single day. And then the business is expensive because food is public. This is going to get crazy. So that don't mean you're just going to restaurants buying food. Your business can go buy groceries and have the chef cater it. Your business ain't got to really go buy groceries for real. Your business can hire a chef. The chef can go to the grocery store and buy everything that the business need that they want the chef to cook. And the chef can give you the invoice. Come on, y'all. I don't want to go too far. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Watch this. Last year, February, my wife's business, one of her business needed a vehicle. So the business, when they got her a 2024 long body Range Rover, $153,000 cash, her business paid for it. And being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS allowed her to write the whole thing off. That's crazy. One of my businesses needed a vehicle at the end of last year. So my business went and purchased a 2025 Cadillac Escalade, paid $152,000 for it cash, and being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS let off. So when we put gas in that vehicle, what is that? A business expense. When we do maintenance on those vehicles, what is that? A business expense. I was driving, going down, conducting business on property number 29, coming back from there, me and my brother, right? And I don't know if it was a rock or a freaking big old boat hit the front of my Cadillac. Boom. It was loud. It's a star on the window right now. My brother, oh Lord, that thing cracked your window, bro. I ain't never seen it like that. He was like, man, because we were driving the speed limit 70 miles per hour. I guess the boat came off of one of the trucks and hit the window and cracked the windshield, a little purple little star. I was like, oh my God, boy, that's crazy, man. He said, man, it's up on the warranty, I know. I said, yeah, but when the business bought this vehicle, the business paid the extra money. So the only thing I got to do to that Cadillac is put gas in it. That's it, which is a business expense. But I was kind of upset that the window getting cracked couldn't be a business expense. Like, damn it. I wish it could have been a business expense, but it's not because it was covered. Why is your vehicle a business expense? It's public. If it's public, it goes into business. If it's private, it goes into trust. Okay, let me ask y'all a question. Tell me the last time you drove on a personal road outside of your driveway. Go. Tell me the last time you drove on a personal road outside of your driveway. Go. The last time I checked, you're driving on a public road. If it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. Your driver license is for public use. You're supposed to have, I don't know, some type of commerce that you're doing because you're driving. If you're not selling the stuff in your vehicle, I'm just saying you're not driving, you're traveling. But that's a different conversation. All of these things, you know. I'm in my office in my home right now. I'm in my office in my home. Sometimes I'll be in my movie theater. Sometimes I'll be at the bar. Sometimes I'll be in my pool hall, my game room, the gym. conducting business. But the roof over your head is private, so it goes into trust. The roof over somebody else's head that you control is public, so it goes into business. So this ain't my house. This 7,000 square foot home is not my house. I don't own this house at all. It's one of the trust house. So when them bills come in the house, they the trust bills because I ain't got no bills. You get it? But y'all got small businesses, right? Y'all 100% got small businesses. Don't you write off your office space, the square footage of your small business? If you don't, you should. If you're not writing off the square footage of your office space in your home and you got a small business, if you don't, you should. So what you think I'm doing? I'm conducting business in my office today, y'all. I'm writing off that square footage. When I conduct business in my movie theater, conducting business, I'm writing off that square footage. When I conduct business in my gym, what do you think I'm doing, y'all? Think. I can't write off the square footage in my bedroom. That's personal. But it ain't really personal to me. It's private. Ain't nothing personal. The only thing that I do personal is get up and breathe. That's it. It's wild. Somebody said, man, you need it for a vacation. Y'all saw me and my wife just get back from Barbados. And before that, we was in Indonesia. And before that, we was in Los Cabos. And before that, we was in Turks. And y'all saw me and my wife doing these different things. It happened to be around our birthdays, anniversaries, and different things of that nature, right? We went on vacation. We was on location. A business trip. We went to these places to conduct business, boys and girls. Think. When you go on a business trip with your job, what do they pay for? The lights? I mean, not the lights, the flights, the car rental, the hotel, and the food, right? You don't pay for that personally at all. Your business pay for it, and then they expense it because it's public, right? That's amazing, Nick. Think about what I'm saying. Y'all get on the live today. Y'all gonna eventually join Zabo103TV.com because I'm giving you a return on investment right now, right? What's stopping you from starting your business? You don't know how? Go on over to Zabo103TV.com so you can learn. Right? Even alcohol. Nothing stops you. Like if you're on your job will tell you can't have alcohol, you can't put that on the bill. But if you charge it to the room, who cares? If you charge it to the room, who cares? But that's a different situation, right? Let's make it make sense. Sounds wow. When your business pay for that resort all inclusive, everything on that resort is included. So imagine you're looking for business expenses. Appreciate your family. Imagine you're looking for business expenses and you want to go sign up for my network, Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. And you're like, I got to use money personally for that. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a wealth manager. I'm not an attorney. All the stuff on Zabo103TV.com is for educational and informational purposes only. I highly suggest after you get the information, do your due diligence. Sit down with a professional in the respective area that you're actually going to do these things in and get the expert advice, somebody that's licensed to make this happen. So what does that mean for the network? It's education for your business and also public and a business expense. Think. Ain't none of this stuff personal. Y'all get on here and get this information from me. I'm showing y'all how to connect the dots. This a use you situation. Y'all using me for that, right? I use y'all to show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes. Why? Zabo 103 also one of my businesses. So even though I ain't getting paid on none of these platforms, business expense, business expense, business expense, I can keep going. Yes, I can check the box for them clothes. So when we on those location, aka business trip, we also content creator. So it ain't just paying for the flight, the car rental, the hotel, and the food. It's also paying for all the pretty clothes and pretty shoes you see. It's also paying for the camera crew that's over there watching us doing what we do. It's also paying for the ATV and the jet skis. We create content, y'all. Think. Think about what I'm saying. This stuff is wild, y'all. And there's more. Imagine you saying you spend money personally for your kids. Why your kids ain't your employee? Why your kids ain't your employee? My kid 15 years old in my state, they got to be 16. Not if you own farmland. If you own farmland, your kid can start working for you out the womb. That's a different conversation. Nobody hears that. Sound like your kid just became public and also a business expense. Here's a little bit of a head scratcher. When I was at Bank of America, if they're your employees, it don't matter. Don't you got people at your job you're not related to? Don't you got people at your job you're not related to? If you give them a job in your business, it's a business expense. Think. We're going to keep this party going because it seemed like the right thing to do. Watch this. You know, when I was at Bank of America, I used to say something real stupid. And I'm going to call myself stupid for this situation, y'all, because I was, y'all. I can't front. I was making a couple $100,000 a year at the bank. I was making anywhere from 75 grand to 100 grand a month while I was still at the bank. I was still at the bank because my goal was I'm not leaving the bank until I make my yearly salary in a month. Until I make my yearly salary in a month, I'm not leaving. I'm not. And I was bent on it. And when people would ask me, why you leave? You're making good money outside and inside. I'm like, man, I can't leave these benefits. I appreciate your family. I can't leave these benefits. These benefits too amazing. I can't leave it. I can't do it. Meanwhile, as I'm praising Bank of America for getting these amazing benefits, medical, dental, vision was coming out my paycheck every pay period. Every pay period, it was coming out my check. I was paying for it. And Bank of America was getting credit for it. When I started my own business, got more than 3 employees, I got that group insurance. Guess who paid for my insurance these days? The business, which makes it what? Public and also a business expense. The same way you got a health splending account with your job, you can get one through your business too. That money ain't taxed, y'all. You got a 401k at your job. You can't touch that 401k until you get 59 and a half, or you get fired or quit, which you're going to be penalized on if you're not 59 and a half, or you're going to have to borrow that general purpose loan or do a hardship loan to get it. And you can't get all of it. So who's managing that money in your 401k? Wall Street. They're going to do a great job with your money. So you telling me if I have my own business, I can have me an LLC, a holding company that manage retirement accounts. And I can do a self-direct 401k into that management account that I own. When that money going to that 401k going there, it ain't taxed. And my company matching it, right? Well, who gets the checkbook to that management company? You. Guess what you get to do with that money? Go put that money into a rental property, tax-free. And as you put it into a rental property, the tenant's paying the rent coming back into that 401k, tax-free. You get to manage your 401k. Imagine that. That sounds like your 401k just became public. And also a business expense that you got the ability to manage it at a level that you ain't never seen before in your life. When I was at Bank of America, because Bank of America was an amazing company, y'all. Best company out there, y'all. Bank of America was so good to me. They gave me a $50,000 life insurance policy that I ain't have to pay for. Y'all jobs ain't doing that. Bank of America gave me a $50,000 life insurance policy that I ain't have to pay for. Think. It was the wildest things. Self-direct 401k? Yes, you can do that if you got your own business. And if you got another business, another LLC, business, holding company, you can manage the 401k. Why? Because you manage retirement accounts. So if you got a Roth, you can get that to that management company that manage retirement accounts. You got a health spending account, it can go there. You can manage that account too. I know you start a business, you're not officially in business until you open up a bank account. So who got that checkbook? You. You. But people don't hear that. People don't understand that. Think. When Bank of America gave me that $50,000 life insurance policy, I thought I was special. When I left Bank of America, they didn't cancel that policy. When I left Bank of America, they didn't cancel that policy. Now, I know it's going to lapse, but they didn't cancel that policy when I left. I called my life insurance broker just like that. I asked them flat out. I said, hey, look, that these life insurance policies that I got on me, my wife, my kids, we can't be the beneficiary of each other, y'all. We can't. We're going to get that money and we're going to act a fool. We need that money to be the beneficiary for that money to go to the trust. These different trusts. Can you do that for me? And how long will it take? He said, man, give me a couple minutes. Wait. A couple minutes? Yeah, man, give me a couple minutes. I'll take care of it right now. It's going to take about 2 billing cycles to show on your statement. It's going to be active as of right now. Wait, you don't need my wife's consent to make this change? My kids that of age that can give consent, you don't need them? You don't need their consent? No. You the policy holder. You can do whatever you want to do with these policies. What? A light bulb instantly went off. I said, Bank of America gave me a $50,000 life insurance policy that I ain't have to pay for. My employees that I have, can I put life insurance policy on them, $50,000 that they ain't got to pay for? He said, yeah, you absolutely can do that. I said, but man, I can't afford no $50,000 life insurance policy on all my employees. He said, yes, you can. It's just peasants insurance. It's just peasants insurance. I said, yeah, but $50,000 on each person, that's going to cost me a lot. He said, it's $5 a month. So you telling me I'm going to spend $5 a month to make them happy about working for me and get them a free $50,000 life insurance policy, and that $5 every single month is a business expense? I said, absolutely. Huh? So y'all know me. When I heard that, my brain just started bubbling. I'm like, oh, this is going crazy. I said, wait. What about my executives that I have working for my company? You know, I'm an executive at my company, my wife, my kids. I got executives that work there. What about all the executives? Can I put big old whole life insurance policies on them? He said, the biggest one you can afford. Sound like your life insurance policy just became public and also a business expense. But people don't hear that. Man, I got to use money to purchase some. What about my kids? My kids going to college. They got to get a good education. They can't be out here going crazy. They got to go to school and get a good education. You've been going to work at your job for years. If you go to school while you're working and it's in the field that your job is in, don't your job give you tuition reimbursement? Don't your job give you tuition reimbursement? Maybe I'm tripping. If they do, why the hell do you think if you got a business, you won't be offering tuition reimbursement to your employees? As long as they're going into the field of what your business is, because that's going to be your stipulation that you're going to put on them, right? Nothing stuff, this stuff. Did I miss anything that y'all use money personally for? Did I miss anything that y'all use money personally for? And remember, I'm giving you your return on investment for joining Szabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio. I'm giving it to you ahead of time. There's so much more stuff over there that we talk about. This ain't even a drop. And that's what's crazy about it. This ain't even a drop on the radar, what we actually be talking about over there. This is like ground level. And a lot of people are like, oh, we ain't even got into it, y'all. And I'm going to still give you some more. Why? Because I'm only giving you a drop. So I didn't explain to you that money's not real. I've explained to you you're not supposed to use money personally. You should be using money for public debts and private debts so you can understand it. And I know what you're thinking because your mind still ain't shift yet. It ain't click for you yet. I'm going to talk to y'all right now how you do it from exactly where you at. Watch this. We're going to come up with a scenario right now. I don't care what the scenario is. We're going to make that scenario a real thing, though. It's going to have to make sense. And I'm going to show you exactly what I would do that will change your life forever to the point that you will never have to work for anybody else for the rest of your life. I want you to think about what I just said. I'm going to show y'all right now, and this is all a part of me giving you your return on investment way before you join my network. I'm about to show you how you can change your life right now on this live. And I know people will never do what I'm about to do. They'll give you all this hook of, hey, they'll give you a little bit of something to pique your interest so you can go over there and do it. I'm confident in what I do because it's what I do. So I'm going to show you how to do all these things that I'm talking about right now on this live from exactly where you at. Watch this. Let's come up with a scenario. How much money do I need to make in a year? Y'all tell me. Oh, you already got a whole thing out here. Break that down to a salary. I ain't got no calculator on me. 2 kids. I got to live somewhere. That's cool. Good credit, no savings. All right, cool. No credit, no savings. $13.50 an hour, not $75K a year. I don't need no calculator not to know that one. Are you saying use $75,000 a year? We can do that. Or it's $26,000. Okay, let's use $26,000. We can use $26,000. Y'all want to use $26,000? That's cool. I would just have to get a commitment from y'all. Maybe I want to make sure. If I show y'all how to do this for making $26,000 a year, if you make more than that, you shouldn't have an excuse, right? If I show y'all how I would do this at $26,000 a year that I make on a salary, if you make more than that, you ain't got no excuse. I'm just saying. Okay, that's fair. $26,000, cool. We done did it from being homeless. This is actually easy. I make $26,000 a year. I'm single or married. Y'all tell me. I need to know. Somebody said I got 2 kids. That's cool too. I 2 kids. But am I single with 2 kids? Married? Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me what y'all want that to look like. Single. Boom. All right, single is cool. You need the homeless version? You can actually join the network. I actually have it up on the network. So we'll say single, $26,000 a year. I got kids, but they live with their mama. They don't live with me. Or do they live with me? Let me ask that question. Do my two kids live with me and I'm making $26,000 a year, or do they live with their mama? Y'all tell me. They live with me. All right, cool. So I got two kids that live with me. I'm making $26,000 a year. I'm single, right? Okay, come on, y'all. We got to be concise now. They can't live at both. They either live with me. Do I have full custody? Am I the primary custodian, or is their mom primary custodian? All right, I'm the primary custodian. Cool. That makes a difference. Okay. All right. I'm the primary custodian. Check that box. Okay, cool. I got two kids, 26,000 what I'm bringing home every single year. Somebody said I got, I'm single. What was the credit like? I think I missed it. Credit good, bad, great, no credit. Like what's going on with the credit? At $26,000 a year, I don't think I got no good credit. It's gonna be hard to have a 700 credit score, and you got $26,000 a year you bring it home and two kids. Man, that'll be rough. So I do want to make this realistic. So we're gonna say bad credit for this scenario. I got bad credit. Okay. So if you got good credit, then you really should be good, right? If I do this scenario from what I just explained to you, if I got bad credit and you got good credit, you ain't got no excuse. We ain't got to go through all the bills. I got to have somebody for the kids to keep, right? We got to do that, right? Got to make that happen. That's a given. Okay. We good? Anything else y'all want to add to that equation? Remember, I'm giving you your return on investment before you even join Zabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio. Watch this. Watch this. I'm bringing home $26,000 a year. I got two kids that live with me. Their mom is not there. I'm single. I got bad credit. I'm in bad shape, y'all. We'll say the 26,000 years not coming from a job. We'll say the 26,000 is coming from the military or something. I don't freaking know. I ain't gonna say the military. That ain't right. Say the 26,000 coming from. I guess I can say a job. Maybe it is coming from. We'll say a job, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. I don't think I really got a whole bunch of passive income in this scenario. Maybe I was doing well. I had a good job. My wife left me. We got a divorce. She left me with the kids. I had some rental properties, right? My credit shot, so I lost a lot of stuff. I got a few rental properties that I have, and that's where I'm getting the $26,000 a year from. That's fair. That is fair. All right. So we'll use that. Okay. So I'm getting that $26,000 a year is passive income from somewhere. It can be from me getting on social media, getting $26,000 a year. It can be from, this ain't really passive, from Uber. You get it? Okay. So we all on the same page here. Okay, cool. All right, bet. But I'm getting $26,000 a year. It ain't really a job. It's just passive. All right, cool. So I do it here and there. Okay? That's fair. I think that's fair. Okay. So there are a couple of things that I need to do. And I'm only telling y'all what I would do. Okay? Hopefully y'all connect these dots. So here's what I will do. The first thing I'm going to do. Did the live freeze over here? I had to take that Wi-Fi off. Let me take that Bluetooth off. I know I'm good on Instagram and other platforms. TikTok probably froze. I think I connected to a vehicle again. But if I'm back up on TikTok, put a one in the chat. I'll go back through this. Go back through the scenario. All right, cool. See, I paused for a minute. There was no freeze. Okay, I'm up. All right, cool. All right. So I'm gonna go back through the scenario again. Make sure y'all got where I'm at. Bringing in $26,000 a year. I got 2 kids. I'm a single father, right? I got bad credit. Okay. The mom, she left. She started dealing with another cat. It is what it is. Life goes on. I ain't tripping. What else did I miss? Did I miss something? I must have missed something. I don't know what I missed. But nevertheless, I digress. That's where I'm at. Okay. So there are a couple of things that I'm gonna do. No savings. I ain't got no money saved. That's cool. Thank you, Joy. I ain't got no money saved, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach out to my kid's mom. I'm gonna see a relationship. That relationship, I found out and talked to her. The relationship didn't work out with her and old boy. So she just, she's single, doing what the single people do. She dating, and that's about it. She working, but she thought it'd be best if the boys be with me. So I'm gonna call their mom, man. I'm gonna have a real conversation with their mom. I'm gonna tell their mom that I would love for our family to get back together. I would love for our family to get back together. And I want her to come home. I know she cheated on me, and it's okay. I forgive her. She don't know, but I would cheat on her too. We were cheating together. We were some Cheetos. We were some Cheetos. That's what we were. But she don't know I would cheat. I know she would cheat because I caught her. She didn't catch me. So I forgave her. And I'm going to talk to her about us getting back together. And tell her that it'd be good for us to raise our family in the same household. I think that'll be amazing. Them see their dad and their mom together. And I do have a plan. I know I lost my job, and that was the straw that broke the camel back for you. What made you leave ultimately. But I got a plan, and I haven't found another job yet. But I got a plan that's going to work. And I would love for you to come back home. We can go to counseling, and make this work. You know what I'm saying? And she's gonna say, no, I can't do it. Because even though I know I cheated on you, I was wrong for that. I believe that you would cheat too, and I just didn't catch you. Like, yeah, I get it, but at the end of the day, I was cheating on you too. And I was wrong for that, just like you were wrong for. We both were wrong in that situation, but I understand why I went wrong. And this stuff is about being honest. And I'm honestly saying to you, I have a plan that's going to change our life forever. And that's, it's not just going to change my life and our boys' life. If you come back to the house and us start working on being back together, it's going to change your life too. If you're not, if you don't come back, it ain't gonna stop us from changing our lives. I'm gonna change our lives forever. It is what it is. She's like, nah, I'm good. I got somebody I'm dating right now. I think we're gonna get serious. That's what it seemed like. So I'm gonna go that route because we got too much history to where I can't forget all the things that we've been through. I bet I get it. I understand. But what I do need you to do is I need you to be in your boy's life too. I want you to be there. I want you to, you know what I'm saying? I want them to see their mom, man. Like they need that in their life. And she was like, man, I'm gonna be there as much as I can, but I have to work. Like, all right, I get it. You got to take care of yourself. I get it. And I'm gonna leave that conversation and let her have her way because she really don't want to be there. That's why she left the boys with me, and she really don't want to really be in their life like that. She gave me the claim that the boys need their father speech. So, you know, it is what it is. I feel bad for her and for me and for my kids. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go downtown and I'm going to apply for Section 8. I qualify. I'm also going to apply for food stamps. I qualify. I'm also going to apply for that government phone while I'm down there. I qualify. I'm going to get approved for Section 8. They not going to give me no, they ain't going to even really do that for me. They ain't going to really give me the approval until like 3,000 years, but it's okay. I'm going to be on that list. It don't matter how long it takes. I'm going to be going down there probably every week talking to somebody, seeing what they can do to get me on that list faster. But I'm going to do what I got to do. I got to get it out the mud. They're going to give me food stamp immediately. I don't make no money really. And I got 2 kids. They're going to give me $300 a month. I'm happy with that. I can make that work. That government phone, they're going to get to me right out the gate. I got to make that happen. And while I'm down there getting the government phone, food stamps, and Section 8, I'm going to put my ex-wife on child support too. I'm going to put her right on child support too. Because just because you're not in this house, you still going to support these kids. And I'm going to be enforcing these visitations. So if you supposed to come every other week to get them, you got to make it happen. If you're not paying that child support, we're going to hold you in contempt. Got to enforce it. And in Georgia, they locking you up and suspending your license. I told y'all I was going to change your life forever. I'm in it. Because I didn't make these kids by myself. And she got a good job at that. She make $100 grand a year. She ain't lose her damn job. I lost mine. I need that 20% for those 2 boys. That's 20 grand a year. Sound like I just added 20 grand on to that 26,000 bring it home. And it's interesting because I'm gonna show y'all some of that 20 grand, how it don't help me. It ain't really helping the boys either, but we're gonna make that little bit of money work. Watch this. When I leave off and down there, putting child support, getting all the assistance I can get while I'm down there, I'm gonna make another phone call, y'all. I'm gonna call a place called LexisNexis. LexisNexis. Somebody put it in the chat. I'm gonna reach out to a company called LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all your information. When I reach out to LexisNexis, I'm going to ask them to freeze my Clue report and my personal file. Clue, C-L-U-E, personal file. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I hope I'm still here, y'all. Did I lose? Oh, okay, I'm sitting down. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I can't afford it. Sir, ma'am, please just freeze my Clue report and my personal file. I can't afford this other stuff. They say you can do it online. They're going to tell me they're going to send me out a PIN number in 3 days. I'll be able to unfreeze and freeze my Clue report and my personal file with that PIN number. I'm going to wait those 3 days. And on that 3rd day, when I get that PIN number, I'm going to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And I'm going to start disputing. That's not my address. That ain't my account. Validate that debt. Now, we all know they got 30 days to verify that information. What a lot of people don't know is they're going to reach out to LexisNexis to verify that information. A lot of people don't know that. Well, even less people know that being that your Clue report and your personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. And y'all know what happened when nothing comes back in those 30 days, right? It's coming off your credit and it's free. Uh-oh. Look like I'm checking that box with my credit. I still ain't out of the woodwork yet, y'all. Not even close. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out to a company called NACA. NACA. N-A-C-A. NACA is a program that will assist you with get homes. You know, a home for where you live at. right? You got to be able to afford to make the payments, whatever you're going to be living in. You got to sit through their 4-hour program. Can't have no late to your credit in the last 12 months, and you got to put down a down payment. So let's walk that backwards, right? I ain't got no money for no down payment. I ain't got no savings. But I do qualify for the down payment assistance program. Check that box. You can't have no lates in your credit in the last 12 months. I just fixed my credit. I ain't got no lates on there. Check that box. You got to sit through that 4-hour program. I don't give a damn about sitting through no 4-hour program. I'm sitting through the program while my kids at school. Check that box. This is going to get crazy. And I got to be willing to move into the property. I'm 100% willing to move into the property. The property that I got, I bought it 15, 20 years ago. My payments are so low, it don't even make no sense. I pay $800 a month for that little piece of a house that we got. We got a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a carport. I pay $800 a month for it. It's in a good location. I ain't got no money to fix it. But I'm going to get into this NACA program because I done fixed that credit. Got to make that happen. One day at a time. We all catching this stuff. Being willing to move into the property. As soon as I move into that property, I got a few properties where I'm renting out that I got tenants in, and that's where I'm getting $26,000 a year from, which is cool. Now I'm gonna move into this NACA property, paying $800 a month for this property, $1,000 max, right? For this property, that's $12,000 a year, right? It is what it is. The other property that I have that me and my boys in, that's in a great location, because I got to move out of that to move into the NACA property. I'm going to get on. I'm gonna look at the people down in Section 8, because when I do get approved in Section 8, Section 8 will that I can use that income for Section 8 to get a mortgage. That's just a whole different situation. But I'm gonna get that mortgage before I get on Section 8, because I'm waiting on that Section 8. But what I'm gonna do is, when I move out of the property that me and my boys in, I'm paying $800 a month for that mortgage. Moving to this Section 8 property, where now I'm paying $1,000 a month, I didn't raise my rent. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back to Section 8 and have Section 8 rehab my property that me and my boys were just in, with the understanding that I'm gonna rent it out to Section 8. So Section 8 gonna pay for the rehab, and then they're gonna put a tenant in there to be on Section 8, so that they can pay that mortgage and get a little bit of a drip. Now Section 8 ain't gonna give me no Section 8 at all. In fact, they probably ripped the I might be over the limit, right? I might be over the limit of what qualified me even for food stamp. They might take my food stamps too, but that's okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't care. I'm making it happen. I still ain't talked about, I got 20 grand coming in for child support now. I got 26 grand a year coming in for my rental properties. I still ain't talked about the money yet. So what do you think I'm gonna do? Now I'm gonna take every dime that I have, and my money's only going to 3 places. 3 places, y'all. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. These 3 places, if you put your money there, it will change your life forever. Watch this. Why land? Because they're not making no more. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. So I'm going to buy land with the money that I'm bringing home every single year. Why that big old whole life insurance policy? Because your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the life insurance policy you can get. Imagine I can put money into that whole life insurance policy and get compound interest daily, tax-free, that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. This is going to get crazy. The last place is basic living expense, because we all got to have a place to live. Period. So I got $20,000 I'm getting in child support for my boys. And I got $26,000 that I have that I'm getting from my passive income from my little rental properties that I have. Watch this. The first thing I'm gonna do is go sit down with a licensed insurance broker, and I'm gonna ask them to show me an illustration of all of the products that they have. All of the products that they have where the life insurance policy has a cash value, aka a living benefit, that's structured in a way where I can actually get cash out of it every 30 days and pay it back. And they're gonna say, well, okay, that's cool, but you're gonna pay it back? What are you gonna be doing? I want it to be structured to run every dime that I have coming in going through my life insurance policy. So that $20,000 I'm getting from their mom every single month, that's gonna run through that policy. That $26,000 gonna run through that policy. It's gonna be $46,000 a year running through that life insurance policy. Watch this. Remember the three things I said you gotta have: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. I didn't check the box with the life insurance policy already. Hopefully y'all caught that. Okay. The next two things my money need to be going to is basic living expenses and land. Well, being that I'm running all that $46,000 through that policy and I'm borrowing all that money every single year, putting it back into the policy, paying it off every month, every pay period, is getting compound interest daily tax free. I'm gonna borrow that whole 46. It ain't really gonna be the whole 46. It's probably gonna be like 85% of that money. So realistically, we're gonna be looking at 85, 8 times 4 is 32, 5 times 4. My math might be a little off. Let's call it 40 grand. So I'm gonna borrow 40 grand from our policy every single year. Watch this. This is gonna get crazy. When I borrow that 40 grand, guess what I'm spending my money on? Basic living expenses, the biggest whole, the basic living expenses and land. I'm gonna take $25,000, and that's gonna go into my basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. I don't have no more debts. I done got rid of all of them. The only thing I got is rent or mortgage, I should say, $1,000 a month because I went through NACA. Watch this. 39, that's cool. 25, we'll call it, instead of 25,000, 24,000. $1,000 a month for the mortgage. That right there alone gonna cost me 12 grand a year. Out of that 24,000, I got $12,000 left. My utility bills in that household, because I ain't got a whole bunch of stuff. Internet, right? If you got a life insurance policy and you got a cash value in it, in that policy, they ain't gonna care about your credit. They ain't running your credit. You just take a loan. It's your money. That's what's wild. And as you take that money out, the money's still in there getting compound interest daily tax free. That's even scarier, but we ain't gonna get there yet. So 12,000 gone out of the 24,000 I spent. I got $12,000 left. I'm gonna spend probably another $500 a month on utility bills. That's $6,000 gone out of that 12,000. I got 6,000 left. I'm cooking every single day. I don't really have a choice. In groceries, I might be spending, I don't know, a couple $100. They might still give me food stamp because I ain't really making no money. I ain't making no bread. Child support don't count. So I still might be getting that $300 a month for child support, the food covered. Hope y'all picking this stuff up. I got car insurance on this piece of car I got. I be fixing myself. I got liability, only paying $34 a month. That's pennies. So I got a total of $24,000 going into basic living expenses, y'all. The kids ain't getting a whole bunch of fresh clothes, Christmas, birthday. They ain't doing all that. I done sit them down and had a conversation with them and told them that they dad got a plan and they ain't never gonna have to work for nobody else in life. And dad gonna come up out of this. If I put $24,000 into that big old basic living expenses out of $39,000, that means I got $15,000 left. With that 15 grand, it's only going to the last place. I'm gonna buy 3 acres of land. With that 3 acres of land, I'm gonna spend 15 grand. Now, I know you're saying you can't even buy 1 acre land for $15,000, right? So what does that mean? You have to have a personal vehicle. If you don't, and you're trying to operate up on the tax code 179, there's a percentage of time that you're going to be trying to use personal. So you got to have that separate vehicle, 100%. Unless you get a driving service, and that's a whole nother situation. But nevertheless, I digress. So that 15 grand, I know you think you can't get an acre land, but you're not buying land in a major city. You're buying land at least 30 minutes outside of the major city. In every state in America right now today, you can get an acre land for $5,000 or less. It don't matter if you're in California, New York, New Jersey, Georgia, Florida, Tech. It don't matter where you at. In every state with the exception of Hawaii, because I haven't seen anything else pop up for Hawaii yet, you can get an acre land on average for $5,000 or less. You're going to be at least 30 to 45 minutes outside the major city. And it just is what it is. Okay? Just so we clear. So I'm about 3 acres of land every single year. I'm going to put the whole $46,000 every single year, my whole life insurance policy. I'm going to borrow $39,000 back out of it every single year and pay it back every single year like clockwork. And $24,000 going to basic living expenses. What do you think I'm going to do? Shout out to that family. What do you think I'm going to do at that point? Well, my next step is I'm going back downtown and I'm going to actually talk to them about me becoming a licensed builder. They're going to tell me the test costs $200. You can take your study guide. And once you take your study guide and study for it, you can take the test. And then you have to work up on a licensed builder for 2 years in order to get your license. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take the test, pass the test, and I'm going to go find me a licensed builder that I can work up under to get that experience. This is going to get crazy. So my money is going into basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. That whole $46,000, I'm going to run it through my life insurance policy every single year. I'm going to borrow from it and pay myself back with interest while it's gaining compound interest tax-free daily. When I get that 39 grand back that I borrowed from my life insurance policy every single year, 24,000 going into basic living expenses, that's going to leave me with $15,000. I'm buying 3 acres of land. Watch this. Me and my boys going to struggle for the next 10 years. But I'm going to be educating them on every step that I'm taking along the way. Everything that I'm doing, I'm teaching my boys. 100%. I just thought about it. So my youngest son, who's 6, he'll be 7 next week, right? Y'all be hearing him pop up in my live sometime. Lately, he's just been coming and saying, "Daddy, we're going to get some land." And he's one of them kids that once he gets stuck on something, he don't stop. Even when we go get land, he be like, "I'm gonna go get some more land," and he just keep on doing the same thing. He just want land. That's what he want. So every day, say, "Tomorrow we're gonna look at some land." Every day for the last week and a half, he's been doing it. It's kind of weird, y'all, but that's a different conversation, right? But nevertheless, I digress. I'm gonna be training my boys every step of the way. I have to, because I need them to be in it with me, because I'm doing it for them and they kids and they grandkids and they great grandkids and they great grandkids who I ain't never gonna meet. Watch this. If I do this process for the next 10 years, in 10 years, I will own 30 acres of land. Notice I ain't said nothing about no loans. Notice I ain't said nothing about partnering with nobody. None of this stuff, y'all. I will own 30 acres of land by doing this, y'all. And before somebody say, "Man, the property tax is going to kick your butt," on an acre of land without a house on it, it's probably going to cost you $30 a year for property taxes. And I still might be extreme with that number. It just is what it is, y'all. I not only will own 30 acres of land, I've been putting $46,000 in my life insurance policy, even though I've been borrowing from it, paying myself back with interest. It still was in the policy, gaining compound interest daily, tax-free. By year 10, I will easily have somewhere around about $560,000 that I can borrow against. Easily. Uh-oh. I hope y'all see how my life just changed from bringing home $26,000 a year, father of 2 boys that live with me. Ex-wife didn't want nothing to do with us, had to put her on child support. Bad credit. Come on, y'all. No savings. I done did this process for 10 years. Whole life, not term. I got $560,000 in hand I can borrow tax-free. I got 30 acres of land. I'm also a licensed builder within this 10-year time frame. Think about what I just said. People don't hear that. What do you think I'm gonna do at this point? For the sake of math, I'm gonna take 1 acre of land and take 200 grand, and I'm gonna build me a duplex on that 1 acre of land. As a person that then built 29 homes out of his own pocket, I know whatever the value of the home is, it normally costs half of the amount to build a property. So if I take a property and I build it, I use 200 grand to build that property, it's easily gonna cost $400,000. What do you think I'm gonna do at that point? I'm gonna rent it out. Y'all tell me, on a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, 30 minutes outside of the city, how much is the rent? I know here in Georgia, you're gonna pay $2,000 for that property. On a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, 30 minutes outside of the city, new construction, how much y'all paying for rent where y'all live at? 1,800? That's about right. What's up, family? It's been a minute. What's happening? 1,500 bucks? 1,800 over there? Okay, cool. 1,200 where you live at? All right, cool. In Georgia, it's $2 grand. But here's the thing. You're not becoming a landlord today. You're not becoming a landlord for 10 years. So tell me, how much is that 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, new construction, 30 minutes outside of the city? How much is the rent gonna be 10 years from now? It ain't gonna be 1,200 bucks no more. It's easily gonna be double. Easily double. That's a scary thought, ain't it? So that means in Georgia, if you spending $2 grand for that apartment, you're gonna be spending $4 grand in 10 years. So in 10 years, I'm not gonna charge $4 grand. I'm gonna be the cheap dude on the block. I'm gonna charge $3,000. 3,000 on that side, 3,000 on that side. It's gonna be game over. What do you think I'm gonna do after I get the property rented out? I'm now gonna put the property in debt. I'm gonna go to the bank and I'm gonna go get a mortgage on that property. The bank gonna say this property is free and clear. You an investor. Looks like it's worth $400,000. We need 20% down. 20% of $400,000 to $80,000. Good thing I got it in equity. What does that mean? The bank is going to give me a mortgage of $320,000. Who's getting that $320,000? You, tax-free, that your tenant about to be paying back. Uh-oh. Well, I put 200 in, I got 320 back. That means I got an extra $120,000 tax-free. How much is the mortgage on $320,000? $2,500 bucks? You can call it $3 grand if you want to stretch it out, I guess. I don't know. One of my tenants paying the mortgage. The other tenant, that $3,000 is free for the moment. Why? You got to get what's called a return on your capital first. You know, the $80,000 in equity that you put down, that $3,000 ain't taxed until you get that 80 grand back. So what does that mean? I got $320,000 in this hand and $3,000 in this hand. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? My ex ain't paying child support no more. We didn't back that out 10 years. All my kids above the age of 18. They decided not to go to college, so they ain't had to wait to 22. We don't need the child support no more. That $3 grand is $36,000 a year. That's way more than the $26,000 I would get, but that $26,000 still here because I'm still getting money for those rental properties. That's cool. It is what it is. My life just changed. $320,000 in this hand, $3 grand in this hand. What do you think I'm gonna do at this point? I got 29 more acres left. I'm only going to do this 30 times. Wait. If I do this 30 times, I'm putting 200 grand to build that modern duplex. I'm getting 320 back. That means I'm getting an extra 120,000 every time I do this. $120,000 times 30. If I carry that number, that's $3.6 million tax free. Tell me what job y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. And remember, I told you I'm going to give you your return on investment way before you join Szabo103tv.com. If I just gave y'all that for free, you only can imagine what I'm giving you on the network. Tell me what business y'all got where y'all making $3.6 million tax free. I'm listening. Tell me what job. I got to hear it. Because I don't know, y'all. I don't know everything. But I ain't seen it. And I'm not telling y'all what I think. I just told y'all what I did. There's a difference. $3.6 million tax free. I don't think people understand. But wait, there's more. You remember that $3 grand you were getting on this side right here? That ain't taxed until you get that return on capital. You also getting that 30 times as well. 30 times $3,000 is an extra $90,000 a month on top of the $3.6 million. Tell me what jobs y'all got making this type of money. What business? I need to hear it. Go. Tell me how you trade in all this cryptocurrency, getting your percentage, and you making this type of bread. I'm listening. Tell me what stock market you in making this type of money. I'm all ears, y'all. Tell me what I need to know. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe something else out there. Well, you can get $3.6 million tax free and still be getting $90,000 a month on top of it. And y'all just got that for free. Think. Do you know how different your life would be? Do you understand how different your life would be? You don't need to apply for Section 8. You need to join Szabo103tv.com because we just don't talk about these things over there. I actually show you because I do them in real life. That's the difference. I show you how to connect the dots that you're missing. Of all these things you didn't learn, you know this stuff. You know this stuff. I started with $26,000 a year, bad credit, single father. Think. That's where we started. No money in savings. You don't have an excuse. If your situation is better than what I just described to you, you don't have an excuse. You don't lack money, people. You lack information and taking action with the information that you get. That's what we talk about at Szabo103tv.com. If you can't access it, my tech team put together a video on how to actually access it. Once you create that account, again, I'm going to say this because I want to make sure it makes sense. Whatever email address you use that's attached to your payment from the very beginning, that's your username. The email that you're going to be waiting on is going to go to your spam account. It's not going to come from contact@Szabo103tv.com. It's going to come from like a Store Plus number. You're going to put Store Plus in, hit log in, and just log in. Not only did they make the video for it, I actually went on and did a voiceover telling you what to do so that you can log in. Got to make that happen, y'all. I promise you it's not as complicated as you make it. If you have Apple Pay that you use, you have an email address that's associated with your Apple Pay. I almost guarantee you that's your email address and your username. If you use PayPal, I guarantee you got an email address attached to that too. What happens is, from what I can tell from my tech team is saying, People are signing up and their email address is attached to their payment. The people that's having trouble getting in, they try to create a different email address thinking something's going to go there. Nothing's going to that other email address you created. It's going to go to the original email address that you attached to that account when you made your payment. So send them an email. I know they should be posting that how to log in stuff, Szabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio, but they should be posting that tutorial on how to log in so you can get in there. But you got to get in there, y'all, because we go up over there. This is what we do. I can't even make that up if I wanted to. Think about what I just gave you, though. $3.6 million tax-free. What would that do for your family? 90 grand a month. What would those things do for your family? I need you to get in your head right now how different your life would be if you were able to do exactly what I just talked about. Of course, do your research to make sure it's all legit. I don't want you to just jump. Go do your research. It is what it is. If you do exactly what I said and you come up with that $3.6 million and 90 grand a month, can you imagine what your household would be like? Can you imagine what your bloodline would go through? How much of a head start on life that you just gave to the people that's coming behind you in your bloodline? Come on, y'all. For all y'all that said, hey, if I knew what to do, I would do it, right? Once you get that OC letter, once you get the occupancy letter from the city, you can rent it out the next day. Once you get the occupancy letter from the city, you can rent it out the next day. Remember, ain't no mortgage on it. Once you rent it out and that tenant's in there, they're going to want to see maybe a couple of months of you actually having them in there, knowing that that's what you're going to be doing. The house is free and clear. The bank's going to jump all over it. They might not give you 80%. They might say, we're only going to give you 75%. And that's okay too. Take it. You're still getting the money back it took you to build and money on top of that, tax-free. And the tenant paying the mortgage. $3.6 million and 90 grand a month. Do you understand how much that would change your life? At that point, you're going to realize money not real. It's not about money. The only purpose of money is to make money. That's when it's game over. And I'm not telling y'all what I think. I just told y'all what I did. And there's more. There's more on top of the $3.6 million and the 90 grand a month. Yep. You remember the 20% you had to put down, that $80,000 in equity? You also got that 30 times as well. 30 times $80,000 is another $3.2 million in equity. So you ain't just got that $3.6 million tax-free in your hand, that 90 grand a month. You also got $3.2 million in equity. All this stuff is wild. But again, it's not even a drop in the bucket compared to the things that we go over at Szabo103tv.com. For all y'all talking about, y'all want to level up, you want to change your life, you want to do all these different things. You just need the guidance, you need the information, you need to see it. Why you ain't joined the network, I don't know. For those that have joined it, you about to see. The ones that's been over there already, you already know. So look, y'all, I got to get up off of here. I hope y'all have an amazing Monday. For my law-abiding citizens over there at Szabo103tv.com, I think we got some more shows that's going to air tomorrow. So some more shows gonna air in tomorrow. Wednesday, the livestock auction at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on the network. Tap in, y'all. Tap in, tap in, tap in. We got to make it happen. In the meantime, replay on this live will be at Zaba103 on Instagram, Zaba103 on YouTube, Zabian Gibson on Facebook. If you missed it, you can tap in on those platforms. Y'all be good. I have fun being bad. And I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun. Peace.